God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
Hello! Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier. Without Adam Crigler, because he's off shooting a music video, because he's a pretty boy model rock star, doesn't know how to set his clock when the times change. But we still love him.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Adam. Hopefully the stream stays up. The streaming has been brutal on YouTube. And,
it's horrid.
I looked on my phone and the intro looked fine, but for me, it was terrible. It was
For
like,
you, it played okay
it
for
was
me.
perfect for me.
yeah, and
Maybe
I'm
it's
on
just you.
I'm on fiber. Yeah. Well, maybe it's my kid. No, it can't be. My kids are watching.
Well, earlier we were playing Demonologist,
Demonologist,
and all of our streams were getting all weird on
YouTube.
YouTube. So
Yeah.
I think it's something with YouTube. They've changed something. There's a glitch in the matrix,
Yep. I hate they changed that thing on the side where it used to be like your channel. You used to click on your channel. And they made it smaller and blue. So,
Oh, yeah.
of course, it took
so
me
hard
2
to
days to
click.
find it. I'm like, where the hell did? Oh,
They shuffled around the buttons too, so I'm like, my muscle
Why?
memory is
I'm
all
not
off.
used to it.
why
yeah.
do you do like? Does somebody like does some middle manager get around with like 50 other middle managers and goes, we need to change the platform so the view your channel is smaller? Because that's the only change I really see.
No, it's a guy that just needs to keep his job, and he's like, look, I do stuff.
I do stuff.
change, I do the UI. I moved that, and it's very efficient. It helps people. A lot of people were asking for it. Okay, a lot.
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah, just like they were asking for the downvote to be removed. Oh, no, wait. That was corporations asking for that, including Disney and Amazon. And they got what they want.
And the
Kind of.
government.
Kind of.
Oh.
What's up, Camelot? Yeah, so we are going to talk about, we're not going to bitch about YouTube today. We're going to talk about Graham Hancock's appearance on Joe Rogan and tell some ghost stories.
Yeah.
I've told him before, but I'll tell him again.
It was a great JRE. As always, with
was.
Graham Hancock coming on, it's always good. A couple of new little tidbits. You can kind of get a sense of where he's kind of focused on right now and kind of where he's going. Possibly season 2. Can't wait to see that.
Well, what's funny is I was told, I can't say who told me this, but I was told by somebody who talked to him that they were specifically asked not to bring up Ancient Apocalypse season 2. I think that's weird. Joe Rogan
Trying to keep things
did not bring up Ancient Apocalypse season 2 when there was
Right.
4 or 5 opportunities to do so.
They talked about season 1 a little bit, but not very much.
And Graham has been
then moved
traveling
on.
the world, and
Yeah.
I was told that they were filming it. So maybe there was a problem. Sometimes Graham has problems with people. He just does. That's the way he's always been. Or maybe they want to wait and just like basically announce it when it's done and released to, because Netflix did get, well, Graham got a heap of criticism from like major institutions coming down on. I don't think Netflix gives a crap if a university writes them a letter, but maybe Graham just, hey, I want to shoot my show in peace. And also remember, he was banned from places. He wanted to go shoot at Serpent Mound, and they banned him. So that would be my guess. Is he is trying to be as low profile as
fly
possible.
under the radar, because a lot of these places, if they're still in the process of trying to get permits to go to these places or talking to these people, if it comes out that they're doing a season 2 and then people start contacting them, then they can pull their permit or they could pull access. So yeah, I totally get that. That makes the most sense.
Being careful. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll find out. I mean, Graham doesn't go, I mean, he does go to South America to do ayahuasca and stuff, but he doesn't go there for 2 or 3. He takes his wife, takes photographs, takes a crew. So something's going on. Something's definitely going on. And again, we heard he's going to Easter Island next. I think he's already there. That sounds to me like places they didn't really get to in season 1 that they need to. And his whole speech at CPAC was a more detailed version of kind of what he did on Joe Rogan, because they spent the last hour and a half talking about drugs.
Ayahuasca and drugs and stuff. Yeah. as soon as he said ayahuasca, I was like, all right, here we go.
But the conversation is off the rails.
It was interesting though. I still enjoy the ayahuasca talk, and when they talk about the funding that's now going into some of the research, and the idea that Joe brings up, he's like, could it be possible? What if you could map the ayahuasca DMT world? And I'm like, oh, that could be cool if they find any actual connection. The only thing is it does have a really weird connection that other drugs don't seem to have, is when you do it, you come out with a very similar experience. Like, you go to the same place, you talk to these beings. So there's something weird about the way it works in our brain. So if we could get funding to try to figure out why it acts that way, I think that's interesting. But yeah, I was like, okay, can I go back to the ancient apocalypse stuff? Kind of enjoy that a little bit more.
And they really didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. Once they hit ayahuasca, it was like all that.
They really did it. God, I'm trying to get my computer to perform faster. One moment.
Is it slow?
Yeah,
Sad.
I'm on my older one, right?
Oh yeah, and I was just on that super chat and show where she duct taped that cough button to Graham's hand.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you forgot it again. Oh, you forgot it again.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, dude.
Thanks for
Hey,
counsel.
he's getting up there in age. It's just what comes with age. You have got a cough.
He had a cough throughout the whole, probably because they were smoking so much pot before the show. They probably just sparked up and went off. The drug talk, I would love to debate both of them about, because I'm open to like drugs being legalized, certain drugs being legalized, but they were saying all drugs, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, not that libertarian.
Yeah,
not.
I don't know.
There's some that
I think
we can live without.
I think psychedelics, shit that grows out, from the earth, from Mother Earth,
natural stuff,
yeah,
totally fine.
I think chemicals that we formulate and have created synthetically to manipulate our brains, and that have shown to have very extreme addictive properties that can destroy your life. Not that psychedelics don't.
All drugs would be fentanyl. Should fentanyl be legal?
Yeah.
Should you be able to buy fentanyl at the store?
It should only be prescription if it even is given out. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, and seriously, the most dangerous ones are made by pharmaceutical companies, without a doubt. Without a doubt. We're not talking about your old pot dealer. All those, he's gone now. Your old pot dealer on the corner. But, dude, it's an interesting conversation, and I don't have an answer for it, by the way. But I just know that psychedelics can be extremely dangerous to somebody's bipolar, somebody who has severe depression. I wouldn't touch that stuff. Now, if they're talking about clinically being overseen by a professional to deal with PTSD or depression, sure, no problem. But
yeah, that
like
kind of
just-
legalization, yeah.
yeah. But dude, I've seen a lot of people like not come back from trips ever. So
Really?
Me too.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's and that's just like from shrooms.
That's just yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He eventually kind of found a balance, but it can, if you're in a bad headspace or if whatever the chemical makeup of your brain, it could hit you in the wrong way and really change you. So I think just being really responsible with it. I think the studies that they went into about PTSD with vets and stuff, that some of that it seems to be helpful. So like that kind of study, totally legalize it so we can kind of explore that aspect, a more natural way to deal with that instead of pumping them full of SSRIs is a great thing. But yeah, fully unregulated, completely free for everybody. That sounds like a crazy thing to me.
Yeah.
No,
You're right, chat. It's like being reset. It is, depending on what you're tripping in, and it can go, it mostly is fine, but it can go very, very wrong. Also, to Graham's point, he said, well, drugs are legal anyway. I mean, they're easier to get. Yes. And I think there are, like fentanyl's a great example of, yeah, they decriminalized everything in San Francisco. How's that been going?
Right.
Not well. Not well for society, not well for human beings, not well for individuals. Graham made sure to point out that, like, you know, drugs can destroy individuals, and I agree with that. He's not so sure about society. You know, I think it's a lot like it's not the drugs, it's the people, you know, and people are addictive, but there is an addictive gene or programming or something that is in some people's heads, including mine, that would take nothing to be tripped off. A hit of fucking pot can trigger that. So, you know,
he does have a point with throughout our human history, we've been very deeply connected with some of these substances like dimethyltryptamine and cannabinoids and mushrooms, and that's how we've developed into making societies and making agriculture and making, you know, doing all these things. Well, so like there is something that's connected to that, but taking it in a very responsible way and a very thoughtful kind of, let's figure out how that best fits into our society and not just hands off, you know. I think it's probably the best
I mean,
way to
an
go.
argument, a shaman, especially with certain psychedelics, they're not like addictive. You know, you can't even take the next day. Like if you drop a hit of acid, you can't go drop a hit of acid the next day. It's not gonna, it'll affect you, but like an eighth of the potency, maybe it'd be a waste, absolutely waste. Whatever it burns up in your brain, it needs to refill. Whatever that is, don't know what it is, but that's through lots of personal experimentation. Yeah, I have yet to be convinced of a drug, not like a medicine, but a drug that, you know, fucks with your
Recreational
consciousness.
drug.
A recreational drug that benefits people over time, that greatly benefits. Makes some great art, makes some great music, but I'm talking as a human being, it benefits your health and your mental ability. I've seen a lot of the other side. And maybe I'm a bit biased. I've seen way too much of the other side and almost none of the, oh, wow, this person lived a long life doing cocaine and was a great pillar of the community. You know, it's like, maybe there is one, but I haven't met him. So there's that. But we're here to talk about ancient civilizations, what they covered in the first part. And we kind of went over, you know, things we've stuffed. So what was your takeaway, Garrett? What did you like? Did you hear anything new?
He seems to be a little bit more interested in, at least he brought it up for a while, the Amazon and what is hidden there for the ancient civilization hypothesis and some of the things there. Like Luke Caverns, his whole channel is about. And I just got done listening to a great video where he went onto somebody else's podcast and was talking. Luke Caverns, by the way. Friend of the show, has been on this show. some of the cool stuff that's going on there in the Amazon and in the Central America and that kind of stuff. That's kind of the stuff I was interested in. A lot of it is this is a great episode for people that don't know who Graham is. Somebody an episode that can get you caught up on who he is, what he does, the ancient apocalypse theory, and all of that. So it's a great primer to kind of get you back into all of these things. There's not a whole lot of new information, kind of tidbit throughout the interview, but I love listening to Graham talk about it, so I'll listen to that all day long. But yeah, that's most of it is going over what it all is about. So if you haven't listened to this guy talk about anything, this is a great 3 hours. Well, two hours, and then it goes into
Then
it goes into drug stuff. But that's also Graham. So if you don't know Graham, this is a great 3 hours. Like boom, perfect.
Oh, did Luke get on with Randall? Somebody in chat said Luke got on with
Did he?
Randall.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Shit, and a boy.
Time to watch that one.
Yeah.
So proud of my boy Luke. He's doing great.
I thought
Good kid.
I thought what was interesting was the LiDAR stuff that he was talking about. Because, I mean, we saw a bit, of course, with Skinwalker Ranch and seeing him show the stuff with LiDARing the Amazon, parts of the Amazon, finding these civilizations or structures underneath mounds and mounds of, the rainforest. And we wouldn't even know it's there.
No, and that begs the question, well, were they building in the rainforest, or was the rainforest not there when they built and it grew over it? And I mean, they'd obviously have to clear it. So at the very least, they had to clear. But what caused a bunch of people to live inside a rainforest? It's not the easiest place to live. It's good for, if you're a hunter-gatherer and you grew up there for generations, sure.
It's not even fertile on its own.
No.
Yeah, they have
they
that
have to
stuff that
create
we're talking about. What was it called? A terra preta.
Terra preta.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So they had to
Self-generating.
develop a soil that they could grow crops in.
And
so they could
there's
live
evidence now. One of the new things he mentioned at the speech and in Joe Rogan, there's evidence that terra preta is in Africa in their rainforest too. So
How did that get there?
and terra preta, we know it's made by man because it's got crushed pottery in it. That's part of one of the ingredients. And we totally the closest thing he said you can relate it to is a thing called biochar, but they don't know how to reproduce. Oh, scientists. The West doesn't know how to reproduce terra preta, but Graham said that they believe that the hunter gatherers within and the people within the both rainforests are producing it themselves still.
There's a ton of awesome science that has been done in the Amazon in like eons ago. Like the dimethyltryptamine, the ayahuasca, we've talked about that before. It's two separate plants that they somehow figured out the only way that they work, they counteract each other and open up this chemical. They figured that out. And they figured, he talked about it in this episode about that poison that can paralyze, or not paralyze, it's relax your muscles. So they shoot these monkeys in trees, and what you wouldn't want them to clench up and then their tail get clenched around a tree and not fall down. You want them to relax and fall. So they found like 6 different plants, and they all work together to make this poison. And there's stuff like that is amazing to me that they've figured out in the jungle. Like hunter-gatherer tribes have figured out, without all of the science and all of the gear that we have now and all of the inventions, they figured this out in the jungle. Like,
And
it's amazing.
I don't think aliens taught them. I think that humans have been around a lot longer and they had time. They just simply had time, and maybe it's carried over knowledge that was passed down and kept. It's pretty clever, very specific, but that also can be, I think, used in certain forms. I think he was talking about anesthesia being related to that too. I mean, you kill the monkey and you relax his muscles, his or her. So terra preta, Joel says, I laugh every time I hear Gary say terra preta. It literally means black earth or black soil in Portuguese. Yeah, and I mean that's just what probably Westerners call it. I doubt that's the term for it in the Brazilian rainforest. But terra preta is a soil that you can grow in forever. You can grow a plant in, and it will yield you the very best growth. It's the best soil. It will yield you the best fruit, the best plants, the very best. And yeah, it doesn't, eventually soil, you have to, eventually soil runs its course. This doesn't. And it's pretty crazy.
It replenishes its nutrients.
And if we could reproduce that would change the fucking world overnight.
The food we'd be able to make or grow.
It'd be cheaper to farm. A lot cheaper to farm.
So if they found it in Africa,
yes,
would that? I mean, I would assume trade between South America and
total
Africa.
Coincidence. Right? 2 people just invented it independently. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what everybody will say.
Or it was invented before the continents separated, and that would just push us back even further.
That pushes us way back.
Millions of years.
Oh, somebody finally did. Joe brought it up. I tried to bring it up at the conference, but before they got to me, because I was going to ask Graham about the Cave of Bones.
Yeah. And they brought it up?
And they brought it up, yeah.
And he hasn't looked into it yet, but I think if him and Randall aren't like really looking, I'm sure Randall's looking into this. Like that creates a much bigger thing. Like, other forms of what's the term?
Homo,
because they're not Homo sapiens.
Homo naledi.
There's Homo naledi.
Homo naledi is
there's homosexual. There's homogeneous.
Did I
get that wrong? Homogeneous.
I think that's just a really smart fellow.
Yeah.
Homogeneous, I think, is the term for like all of
hominids. Thank you, Mr. Clean. That was the word I'm looking for. That were conscious. That were conscious beings that had needs and wants that they can communicate. They, like animals can do that too, but they have a form of consciousness like we do, and they bury their dead.
Ceremony
with reverence,
beliefs.
Ceremonial, building wood in structures. Now, Graham mentioned it could have been Neanderthal, it could have been Homo naledi, or it was another version of a hominid.
Oh, I couldn't get that what they were saying.
Yeah. But all these homos were like working towards a civilization before we were around.
Right.
Sorry, I'm a child.
And we were just the toughest homo that took out the other ones,
or just the latest homo. I think we're just latest homo. We might be quarter homo, like the chat says.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different.
But we're just the latest homo, and we could be a
we're the homo on top.
We're the homogenized homo. That's what we are. So maybe
taking all the best parts.
Yeah.
Or maybe the aliens came down and just spliced us all together. Sure.
It's probably Zorba.
Yeah. Took the best parts and.
Either way, stuff keeps getting older, as Graham says, and it does. Yeah. And I think it's great. I think it's exciting. And of course, that guy who did the Cave of Bones documentary. They came down on him like they came down on Graham, like we all thought, and that's what the guy.
And
was
he's National Geographic researcher.
National Geographic, and he's not like woo woo at all. I'm sure he's like, it's
that just seems to be the culture of over time. Yeah, they all just anything that comes in that
it's against the narrative,
messes with the status quo. It becomes this big thing. It's like isn't the whole point to science and investigating things is to figure out if it's true or not, and not just trash other ideas. Like we talk about this all the time, but it's so infuriating that is how we are.
And Graham said it again. It's a religion. It's a form of religion to come out and say like there is no life after death. There's just this. There is no previous civilization. That's a doctrine. That doesn't sound like an opinion because we don't know any of this shit. He made a great point of, we know a lot about Egypt because of the Rosetta Stone that we got to see, which was fucking awesome, by the way.
So cool. One stone One stone. Otherwise, we would know. We'd be in the dark.
Know jack shit. And
Crazy.
The Rapa Nui language, I think I got that right, chat, from Easter Island, they had a language. How do people on an island who were reduced to a population of 100 due to slave raids have a language? Well, they must have been there a long time. And it's a beautiful form of language. It's like hieroglyphic. It's a little bit like that.
Is it that stone that he presented?
It's a piece of wood.
Like,
It's a
so
piece
cool.
of wood. Yeah.
Oh, it was a wood. It was wood.
It's a piece of wood. And it's just, it's been retranscribed and they've lost the language. It's completely lost. The Indus Valley, they cannot decipher the language from the Indus Valley, which is 5,000 years old. By the way, they had plumbing. So they had toilets, plumbing, sewage, prior to the Romans. So this was a pretty advanced civilization that had that one. I'm blanking on the name. The one that looked like it was wiped out by a nuclear explosion, but it was probably an airburst. The bone here. I think
What is it called? You're not talking. No.
it ends in Daro. That's all I. You know what I'm talking about, chat. You'll let me know. But
It's not Tunguska.
it's not Tunguska. It's in India. It's from the Indus civilization. Here we go. Was more advanced than most of India now. Maybe.
Mohenjo-daro? Mohenjo-daro?
That sounds accurate.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Hi,
Thank you,
Craig.
Adam.
Hi, Adam.
He's out in the woods right now shooting his music
out in the
video.
woods,
He's
like,
like,
he's probably
Mohenjo-daro.
He's shooting his music video. So when he's like half naked, playing guitar leads in the
Up on a
Swedish
rock.
fucking
Oh my God.
in some Viking encampment or something like that. So the Indus Valley civilization was more advanced than most of India now. That is a terrible thing to say. That is a terrible thing to say. Yes.
Yes.
Some of it. Yes. Yes. I don't think the Indus Valley civilization had to pass out flyers that, it's not healthy to poop in the street.
The more we like look into these old civilizations and stuff, the more I think that we are not really that evolved. We're not that more advanced.
We're not. And
we just have like toys that we've developed that there's some toys are big. They can make giant holes in the earth that blow each other up and whatnot. They're very big toys, but we are not smarter than they are. I think it's a mistake to think that we are smarter in some way.
India is like an ancient. It's like way older than we think it is. They say it's older than we think it is, although some of the Western stuff has creeped in there as well. But their shit goes way the fuck back. And I think they've just risen and declined multiple times over the years. And there's just a lot of fucking people there. There's a lot of people there. That's a lot of plumbing that you need some infrastructure there. But I think thanks to China falling apart, India will benefit greatly from that. A lot of industry will move to India.
I think we're just experiencing so like India, it's rising and falling. Its technology's up and down. Its culture's up and down, just like everywhere on the earth. And we're all at different levels, and we're all going through different like waves of technology and culture and whatnot. It's not over weekends or months or years. It's over like decades and millennia, and that's the level of culture shift. So, hey, oh, you're through the speaker, through the webcam, and not the. mic.
I might win an election in San Francisco on "Don't poop in the street." If that was just everything I talked about, don't poop in the street. Hey, you, don't poop in the street.
I don't know. There's
You
there's a big community there. The constituents really like to poop in the street.
I'm
so
on
it
a
might
platform.
be hard to fight
I'm on a
against
platform of not pooping in the street. That I would have to live in San Francisco, and you couldn't pay me enough to live there ever again. It's bad enough that I have to go there one more time, and believe me, I'm going to make content out of it.
Yeah.
Sad because it's a beautiful place.
I was like, this is the first time that I'm like,
Was.
I don't know if I want to go because it's kind of scary over there. Oh my God.
We're taking off.
We are flying at 30,000 feet.
Zorbu is taking.
Is that working? Am I good?
Yeah,
now?
there you
yes.
go. There you go.
Perfect.
What's up, handsome?
Hello.
Hey guys.
How
So
was
it
the
wasn't my music
video?
video. It was I was shooting. My wife has a plethora of songs, and she had access to a Steinway piano at this theater. and it was beautiful. We had 2 days, and I've been shooting a bunch. And today, I guess the fallback happens a week before you guys, which I don't know. Sweden just likes
Still
to do
got
things
naked though.
differently, I
That was
guess.
weird that you did that.
Yeah.
Was it just?
How did you
for-
guys know about that? What? I didn't say anything about that.
Got
Did
naked.
Did I text that?
Yeah, you might have texted us.
Send that
Send me
something.
pictures
You
of it.
might have texted us
Oh.
something. There was no words
Shit.
involved.
Oh, thank God I'm not in
Wow.
that group chat.
I'm glad I
Separate
didn't
group chat.
send the next picture I was gonna send. You know what? I want to add a little bit. So
Of
did you
course.
guys end up watching the plasmoid explanation with Randall
No.
Carlson and
No,
that
no.
podcast? So yesterday I had a few hours to just set this place up because I wanted to get the shot right. I was basically like the videographer, cinematographer for this photo shoot, or it's not. It was for the song that she's got. So I was like, you know what? I've got a few hours. It's perfect. I can watch this plasmoid video, listening to him try to explain it because Randall doesn't fully understand it himself. So this is coming from a place of someone who kind of gets it, but from what I gathered, this is essentially going to make CO2 issues a thing of the past. It can be retrofitted onto any engine or any coal plant, energy plant, and you know who's trying to get in on the game from the ground floor? India. So you mentioned like India is going to take advantage of China falling because China is definitely scrambling right now.
It is
And India
falling.
is poised.
Yeah.
Yeah, India is poised to basically take its place. As they're trying to get their manufacture going, and they're trying to actually doing it green, and they're very interested in this technology, this plasmoid implosion. I'll be honest, I don't understand it still. I listened to the full 3 hours of him trying to explain it, and he doesn't fully understand it. But it's interesting. It's basically like a very hot and a very cold that happens in the exact same spot, and it creates this implosion that has this like chemical reaction thing that happens. I don't know, but it's very cool. And if
And
it
it creates a
if
multiverse.
it's worked- well, I hope not.
I don't know,
That's
I
where
hope
the
so.
CO2 goes.
This one's not doing
It
that.
kicks into Miles Morales' universe, and we don't have to think
Oh,
about it
gosh.
anymore.
They found the Pander Stone. Oh, God, I'm reviewing that right now and I'm watching it over and over again. Fuck, it is a funny show. It is funny. They
haven't
rip
seen it
us
yet.
pretty. They rip us pretty good. They go soft on everybody at the end.
Oh, do they?
But yeah, they all shots fired on all sides. It's good. I love it. I fucking love
Cool.
it. But that sounds cool. I hope it's true and not some wackadoodle stuff. But at least we're trying. And I think Graham and Randall are okay now, which is really good. It's good for
Yeah.
the overall movement of truth and finding out about ancient civilizations. Those two arguing would just be fucking horrible, just terrible. And hopefully Robert Schock and Graham, those two kids get back together too.
Well, he talked about Robert
his
Schock
anger.
in this
Yes.
episode of JRE.
Yeah.
He didn't
True.
talk about him in a negative light. He
No, I don't think he ever has. I think it might
like, hey,
be
he has
him.
his own way to explain it, and I have
Yeah.
mine.
Whatever happened, Graham talked about his anger issues, and he says ayahuasca has helped. So
Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
from Bath.
yes,
Yeah, we were there.
That was
were
insane. We were
there.
so close to his
I
house.
thought I told you guys that. guess
I didn't know
didn't.
that. No,
I don't
I don't
remember.
listen to you.
Or
I'm so glad I bought that shirt now. I have a Bath shirt. I'll be like,
Oh, that's
Graham,
true.
Bath.
Now you got to wear it when we eventually
when
interview
you
him.
meet him. Yeah.
I dripped oil all over my shirt, and I bought this shirt, and now
Yeah,
I have
could,
it.
I
It's
could
for
live
you.
in Bath. I could live in Bath.
Dude,
that was
totally.
a beautiful
Pretty nice.
place.
Yeah, it was a pretty dope spot. I agree.
Pretty nice
pretty.
place for the
I
UK.
felt
Very
like
Italian.
you were in Italy.
Yeah.
I couldn't live under that stupid government, but I could definitely
That's the
live in,
thing.
in Bath. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But I
The
love
government.
that someone went balls out and actually was the lesbian cop for Halloween.
That was the
That was
greatest
in the UK?
funny.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised
that's
she's
pretty
not
good.
like arrested in solitary confinement right now.
That was
Yet.
so- if you haven't, just
Yet.
go on my Twitter. I retweeted it. Some woman
good.
went a lesbian non a cop, and it's freaking great. It's why the internet is actually good. It all
Facts.
depends on the people, right? Yeah. So welcome, Adam. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was kind of far out and I'm like, wait a minute, is that clock accurate? And I like look at the clock, and then I look at my phone, and I'm like, no, it's. But then I.
It is kind of dumb that we don't like. For one, daylight savings time is stupid, and it needs
Dumb.
to
Agreed.
end everywhere.
It's stupid.
Should all
And
be
they
like
tried.
Arizona.
They tried last year.
Well,
didn't pass.
put up a poll. Does anybody like daylight savings time? I'd love to hear about this because I haven't talked to anybody who does. In California, when I was a Californian, we voted it out in 2016, and they never implemented it because of the lobby from electric companies.
Wait, what do they have in on this?
They
Why?
make money. They make money. There's a lot. Yeah.
But-
There's a. I'll
No,
find you the
I like
article.
fall back, right? Because then you gain an hour. So if we could just keep falling back,
No, if we
every
could just
year.
like end it.
But the time would be off.
time is relative, man.
I don't
it
care.
doesn't mean
Pick a
anything.
time and end it. Just effing end it.
Just
like I
stop
don't
it.
care.
And we need like a universal clock. That would just be easier.
Why do we not have that? It's dumb.
You know, if the farmer, you know what, like it's bullshit anyway. Time is an illusion. Just wake up an hour earlier. And I love farmers, but like that, and that's what it was supposedly for. But like, screw all that.
Majority of people don't work as farmers.
You guys are more in tune with the earth anyways because you have to grow stuff in it. So you keep up with your time.
I don't even
Oh, I
think
gotta
the
do it.
farmers care.
I don't think so
the-
either.
The farmers
what's
don't check their watch to
They're,
the
they're like, wow,
government.
there's a huge
It's
difference
big.
between 3 and 4 in the morning.
It all sucks
Yeah.
Wow.
at that time.
all hurts. It all hurts. Oh God, that reminds me, dude. I used to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, go to the gym, drive an hour to San Rafael to go to work for so long. I don't miss that.
That sounds like
don't
me
miss
when
it
I
at
was
all.
driving
Waking
an
up.
hour into work at the hospital.
Yep.
Ugh.
You
Good
still
time.
like have 5 jobs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
of course.
Good. Good. Well, you
Just don't do it every day.
You live in Canada. Half your money goes to the government. Yeah, I understand.
You need 5.
Yeah. Adam just plays guitar in the woods amongst the gnomes, and you know,
Only got paid for it.
and got paid for
That's
it.
No,
Maybe that's what
if
I need
only
to
I got
do.
paid for it. That'd be amazing. I could figure that out. I'm trying though.
You could probably. There's a website for that. It's got to be.
That you know there is.
Oh, well.
You know there is. So with that language, the Rapa Nui language from Easter Island, I think that one is the biggest trip of them all. And the undeciphered languages, to get back to my point, we were talking about the Indus Valley and
Yeah.
Easter Island. So Graham was, you know, again, we talked about this last week about how archaeologists think basically the science is settled on so many things. And it's like there's civilizations we know. Do you know there's civilizations that have come after the Sumerians that we know less about because we don't have their language? You know, we had the you know, the cuneiform clay tablets, and then, you know, but there's other, and the Romans kept pretty good records, but there's other civilizations we know dick about, nothing, that have come after them, come before them. How could you possibly know what the hell happened? Especially with the Indus Valley one, which again, the archaeological estimates is it's 5,000 years old, but it certainly looks older. It feels older. I was watching a Brian Forster video today from Bolivia, and what I love about Brian Forster is he goes to places like I've never seen on Ancient Aliens or anything else. I can't even remember the name of this place, but it's a flight, and then it's a 3-hour drive. And it's a giant rock outcrop in the middle of the jungle in Bolivia that has been just carved out. And there's, again, those rectangular that have the lines kind of going like this. You know, it looks like any megalithic site you can think of. It looks a little bit like Stonehenge. It looks a little bit like Malta. It looks, you know, it's of that megalithic period. And it's like, it makes it here. I'll pull up the video and we can get an image. of it.
Graham was talking about, to go back to, he was talking about Amazon, right? So he was saying he believes if they had more access to stones, like large stone formations, that there would be more megalith structures there. Said even in some places where you do find that there's access to stones, then they did make stone carvings and stone, almost like hinges. So I've like, what is it about the human experience, the human condition, that in our past we made a bunch of these stone, like, is it our need for art? Is it our need for culture? Is it need for gathering spaces to group around? Like, what is it in our DNA that makes us do these things?
Good question. Where do we
Wanna
come
be
from?
Remembered.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big part of it.
Why are we as modern humans, hairless modern humans, why do we not really fit on this earth very much? This has been brought up a lot. Like, why do a large portion of our population, why do they have back problems? Why does and not just in America because of obesity and stuff, there's back problems everywhere. What are back problems significant with gorillas, with chimpanzees, with dogs? You know, why do we not fit here? How would we survive without structures? We freeze to death half the time or burn to death. Like it's pretty strange. And it's not just from evolution, or is it? Like we have this giant missing link, but basically we were these naked hairless apes running around.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was like an evolution thing, then we would be more like attuned with the earth and like, isn't the whole point of that is to be like more optimized?
Always lift with your legs. Maybe that's just
true.
we're just dumb.
Oh my god. The strongest gene always wins anyway.
There was an entire episode. I gotta find it. There's an entire Art Bell episode on this whole subject, and it blew my mind. Like, it was, you know, things that don't fit. Like it was partially the moon and how weird that is, and how weird humans are here, and how we don't really adapt well to this planet.
We're special, I guess.
Or the vast majority of us don't. Some of us do. Some of the hunter gatherers are down. Here it is. Let's see if I can get the relief map. This place is this is an entire, it's hard to tell, okay, from this, but it's the entire top of a mountain that was carved out. In the middle of the fucking jungle. In the middle
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of calorie usage if you think about it in that way. Like,
That'll give you a bad back.
That's expensive.
There is
Why are these things so expensive, like so important to us that we will spend resources to create them?
So here's a map. This is a relief, a map of the place in scale, like a small scale map of it, right? And that's how big it is. So that's just the map. And then you go, why didn't he fly his drone? Damn it. No, maybe he did.
Hayden, I see.
What's up?
Not quite
Hayden?
as expensive as funding the Ukraine.
Not quite.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so this is all like carved out. This entire fucking mountain was carved out. Now there is Inca structures on this, and he points it out, but then there's it looks way newer than so there's the stuff. Here's the non-Inca stuff. If my computer, you know, this fiber internet's fabulous, man. You guys just got to get it. It's so fast. Jesus Christ.
You got to do that thing that the person, I forgot where we got that from. Was it the chat that said you should reset not reset the router, but the access to the internet?
Call your internet provider to check that wire going into your house?
I can reset it from my phone.
maybe like limiting it.
You can go and reset it from your phone. There's a whole thing. You can do it from the app. So this was all carved out. Look at how like incredibly weathered all of this is.
It's like they took the top off the mountain.
They did.
Just like,
but this is rock. This isn't just dirt. So, and then he shows like the Inca structures are behind, you'll see in a second, behind Brian, and they look way younger. And they're still, you know, hundreds, maybe 1,000 years old. But they don't look nearly as old as what we're looking at right now. That looks just...
Was there something in those reliefs there? Or was
we
it
don't
just,
know.
You know,
So
rectangles cut out?
There's the Inca walls behind him, you know, which don't look anything like that
looks
stuff.
So different.
Yeah.
Dang.
Subscribe to Brian Forrester.
Yeah.
Damn
good videos.
Good videos, man. Great videos. Teleportation doors, sure. You know what it
Maybe.
reminds me of? You know, the first time I saw megalithic structures was actually in Land of the Lost. Remember where the Slee stacks? None of you guys are young enough to watch
I
that.
watched the remake.
Okay.
Will Ferrell.
Hey, olds, fellow olds in the chat. Remember Land of the Lost? Remember where the Slee stacks lived, and it all looked like South American megalithic structures, and that's where they got it from, obviously. But yeah, that's the first time I ever saw those. You know that doorway that'll have the shape where it's not a rectangle. It's like
more like
a little
a-
flared at the end. Yeah, they have a bunch of that. I remember.
Cool.
Yeah, look. Thanks, olds, for coming up. Power to the olds. Power
Respect
to
the
olds.
elders.
Adam, what'd you think of Graham's appearance?
I love Joe Rogan's ability to interview. Every time I listen to an interview that I'm interested in the guest, it's fantastic. He rehashed a lot of his battle with the archaeologists out there, and they kind of delve into that, and then they go into the ayahuasca and tripping. I guess that slow release hour-long version that he got. It was cool that he got Joe Rogan in. He was like, "Look, I got you, and I can go do it together." Joe probably thought that was pretty rad.
Like, yes.
So it's like that'll be interesting to hear. What
Oh,
Joe,
that's
thinks.
that experiment they're going to do through
Right, the
San Diego.
slow release.
University
It's
of
like
San
an
Diego,
hour
or
long instead of
UCSD?
a quick DMT trip, which it normally is.
Was that the
They
one where
figured out how to
they're doing them at
elongate
the
it.
exact same time in Sweden and in the university?
No, he was talking about it was like they figured out how to like slow drip the DMT to like allow it to last for a very long time instead of it just being like
So they could
over.
experiment. So they can, that was part of the experiment, and they can. They're going to do it in different locations and see if people come up with the same
Right.
thing like they did, and possibly map wherever the hell they are. And good luck with that.
Cool.
But that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
If they could prove some kind of connection, that'd be wild.
That'd be
That
wild.
would be wild.
there was something that he brought up
A
and it was
neural
at-
network.
and that I wanted to go back and I didn't get the chance to go back. It's at 20 minutes or 21 minutes, and Graham references something that it was just like a couple sentences, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And it's bugging me, and almost to the fact where like I almost want to just go listen to it real quick. I'm gonna do that.
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
go find it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find it
Go ahead.
because it's cool.
You
Oh, I'm
find
doing
that.
I'm doing that.
You do
Happy.
that. We're going to tell ghost stories in a minute. I'll read a super chat.
Ghost
while you're
stories
looking.
from you guys. You sent in your ghost stories.
Yeah.
Valkyria Winter became a YouTube member. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. I love you all, including chat. Hail. Golden nuggets for 2 British pounds. Oh, yeah. Don't forget the chat. They are part of the show.
I miss the UK, man. I want to go
yeah.
back.
We're gonna.
I miss being
thinking
there
about
with
it
you
now.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was so
I don't
fun.
miss the UK. I'll be honest. I don't miss the UK.
I do.
I miss hanging out with you guys.
Maybe that's what it is.
What made it fun.
Like meeting the
I feel
people
like
there.
we can go anywhere and it'll be an
Yeah.
adventure.
Yeah. I can't say I miss London, but like everything, everywhere else, the north. Oh shit, that was.
I liked
nice.
all the villages. Those were the
Yeah.
best part. Like Bath was awesome. I went up to Yorkshire and I spent time
That
there.
little
That
town.
little town. Like
Yeah.
it's a great place.
The
Great
one
people.
by Clarkson's farm. That little town was cute too.
I didn't get to go there. I want to go there.
Oh, we're getting a
There's so
grand
many
tour. We're
things.
getting a grand tour special within a month. Another one.
Drop it down.
Yeah.
I need to watch that show.
Yes, you do.
I need to make it like my my wind down show.
It is my ultimate wind down show. I watch
Do that
it
and paint
almost-
some minis at the same time.
Yeah, when I'm doing like
Mm-hmm.
stupid work around here, stupid work is hanging figures up that fell over, rehanging ships from the ceiling. I've always got Grand Tour on. So what's FML?
F my life.
Okay, sorry, boomer.
See, sometimes we got to refer to the olds, and
oh,
sometimes we got
okay.
to refer to the youngs.
Coming off of H, I know what that is. Hopefully, you all will be a helpful distraction. Whew, brother. 1 minute at a time. 1 minute at a time. Hang in there. Hopefully, we can be a good distraction. Prayers to you, Jay. You can do this. It's really important that you do this. It really
Agreed.
is.
Good for
Are
you, Jay.
Jay, I hope
Good
you're being
shit.
assisted in some way. If not, there are resources out there. Do not take any of the counter drugs unless you're going to be hospitalized. But be careful. I hope you're being supervised because that's dangerous. Because it's very dangerous. But we'll try to be a distraction as best as possible. I've been through it, not off H, but off O's, and it's brutal. It's fucking brutal. Oh no, Spooderman hung himself. Now Gary's going to be haunted by the ghost of Spooderman, says Tricky for $10.
I was just gonna say that. I just noticed that he was.
It looks like he's hanging.
Swaying a little bit.
Yeah.
It kind of looks
Just
like
a
he's
little
got a
bit.
fupa.
A little bit,
kind
unless
of.
that's his bum.
Is that his butt?
Dude, that's
Is
how
he-
they shaded the costume like he pissed his pants.
Oh,
It's muscle shading.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be muscle
off his
shading,
fupa.
but that's
Is that the front or the
It
back?
doesn't look right.
No, it's
Yeah,
the
it does
front.
not
That's
look
weird.
right.
That's a fupa.
Here,
Okay.
wait. Let's
Here's the back.
show the oh. So see, that looks like the front.
Yeah. Why does it looks like he's got like elephantitis nuts?
He's
Yeah.
got giant nuts. What can I say? Well, he dead
Spider
now.
nuts.
He dead
Spider
now.
nuts. He dead now.
Miles did it.
Yeah,
He wanted
that
the
was the whole
spotlight.
point. I had a dead Spider-Man behind me while I was wearing my Miles Morales costume. I was
Glorious.
sending a message.
Was he hanging the whole time? I thought he was
No,
standing.
Oh, he
I
was
didn't hang
standing.
him because I'm like, well, you need to see dead Spider-Man. I said it'll be
Right,
funnier
yeah.
to have him hanging
Now
and
it's-
dangling for this. So
3/4 Snow White was pretty funny. That was
that
good.
was pretty
That
cool.
was great.
The stash, just like icing on the
Right?
cake.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. No, everybody did great except for
We had a lot
Odin.
of great costumes.
Yeah, Az was great too.
Az was
My
awesome.
favorite was
Oh, that was
Ryan though. Oh my gosh.
Right? Oh yeah.
It was so good. So perfect.
The fact that Graham wants every world leader to do psychedelics multiple times makes me question his judgment. Well, before they become
I
world
agree with
leader,
that.
I'm not against it. I don't know about 12 times.
That is a
But-
lot.
What?
Yeah, it is a lot. But I understand his sentiment because he
Yeah.
explained it. He's like, you can't do it once because nothing might happen. Right? You can't do it a couple times because you might freak out. You have to get to the point where you're comfortable in allowing yourself to get there and be in that space.
Yeah, I think
That's
I
what he
don't
was
want
saying.
and that is not something I'm totally against, but I think I'm gonna try to speak for you, Happy Plague Doctor. You might not mean this at all, so I apologize in advance. But I think he's saying we just need strong world leaders, and we don't necessarily need them to like. My benchmark is not going to be psychedelic drugs for fucking anybody. Okay, like it's fine if you
Especially
want to do it.
compulsory, like he
The-
was saying.
Yeah, that no compulsory anything. The only thing I would think would
Yeah.
be compulsory would be, and this is where I agree with them, they got to sit down with a Joe Rogan or somebody
Yes.
for 3 fucking hours and
Yes.
be real.
Uh-huh.
Be
Yes.
real and not
Right.
scripted.
The debate format makes no sense.
No, it is
Agreed.
a 20th century model that's dead. That's a
Yep.
joke. I mean, the president on the Republican side who's leading by a fucking country mile
Yeah.
isn't even going to these debates. That's and shouldn't.
Why?
Like, why would you?
Why is the RNC even doing it? It's a freaking joke. It's a clown show.
Politics is a clown show. We need such a
Facts.
massive change, and it's up to us. Okay, we can't keep voting in the same uniparty shitheads and expect any kind of change.
Hold on. He did call for the legalization of all drugs, but I'm actually with that as well. Look, he had added a caveat that there are some that shouldn't be allowed at all.
Well, then that's
because
not
they're
all.
just- True. That's true, but like I think he means like especially mushrooms. Like you listen to Paul Stammet and like what the
Yeah,
psychedelics-
mushrooms should be legal. I have no problem with that.
Well, and like DMT and like the things that come from natural sources. Like
Yeah.
fentanyl needs to be made. Fentanyl is being produced. Well, China's making the things and then they're sending it to the cartel and then they're
Well,
producing. But
the
it still
problem
needs
is
to
the
be
more
chemically
dangerous
made.
the more dangerous drugs are being made, and most of them, the vast majority of them, including forms of speed and yes, even pharmaceutical cocaine, because it does exist, is made by the drug companies.
Exactly.
Cocaine is horrible. Meth is fucking horrible. These are horrible things, but there are forms of speed that people are getting that aren't those things. You can very easily say you have ADHD and get whatever you want. You go through.
Well, it's only allowed if big pharma can make money off it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just not good for you. Okay, let's read some ghost story. Or did you find that part?
I'm at it right now. I've been trying to like hover between having a conversation.
Well, dip out for a second and listen to it,
Okay.
and then
I'm just
we
gonna
can start our
mute you
ghost
guys.
stories. Yeah.
Okay.
So I can,
Yeah.
Did you want to just read the ghost stories that have been submitted, or did you want to just?
I think you should read the ghost stories that have been submitted.
Okay. All right.
You read gooder than I do.
Gooder. There were so many you guys sent in, and so many of them made my skin crawl. So I just numbered them and chose random ones. So
Okay.
there was too many. So this is the first
Thank
one.
you for all
everyone.
your suggestions. Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. This is from Spencer. His story is I had been working at the local laser tag center for a little while and was on the opening shift. One of my responsibilities was starting the fog machine in the arena. Unfortunately, that day I overfogged the arena to the point of very poor visibility. After about an hour after we opened, the arena was still heavily fogged. A player got disoriented and accidentally opened the back door, which set off our alarm. Not a rare occurrence. As I was the only employee not helping a customer at the time, I went into the arena to check the door and make sure some poor kid was not lost outside. The game had just ended, and all the players were making their way out of the arena to the vesting room as I was entering. I made my way to the first back door in the right corner of the arena. The door was open, so I looked outside to make sure no one was wandering around lost. Fortunately, no one was out there, so I shut the door and proceeded to make my way to the other back door in the back area of the arena. The back of the arena is nicknamed Suicide Alley because it is a straight shot from one end of the arena to the other with no cover and completely exposed to laser fire from the second story. There's a divider in the middle of the arena where you can enter called the catacombs, or the area below the second floor. I was making my way to the other door using this alley when I came across the divider. As I was making my way around, I felt something I had never felt before or since. In an instant, every sense I had screamed danger as if someone was right next to me. My immediate thought was, someone had come in through the open door and was now attacking me. I turned around, ready to fight, but no one was there, just the smoke. I put my back up against the wall and kept looking for someone because every emergency sense in my body was convinced that there was someone right next to me and that I was in danger. After what seemed like 10 minutes had passed, in all reality, probably only a minute, I convinced myself that I was indeed alone. I sprinted to the other door and then back to the vesting room. In the vesting room, I took a minute to gather myself and process what just transpired. I concluded that it must have been me getting scared because of the dense fog in the arena making visibility so poor. Because of this, I never told anyone about it. Skip ahead about 6 months, a couple of the more senior employees and I were closing the building for the night. I was making my way out to the trash cart when one of them asked me if I had seen the ghost yet. Assuming they were up to their normal joking around, I gave a sarcastic response back, but they all swore to have seen it and said other employees and customers had as well. They seemed serious, but again, I was heavily skeptical. I inquired where these ghosts were supposed to be seen. They said it had only been spotted in the same place, exactly where I had been standing when I felt someone was right next to me, only on the second floor. I had been so focused on potential threats around me that I never considered looking up. That sent shivers down my spine that I still get whenever I think about the incident. Apparently, when the building was a shopping center, they were closing to move to a new location and fired most of their employees, including the janitor. Unfortunately, he took his own life in the janitor's closet, which at the time was located where the ghost is always spotted. I can't say with any certainty that it was a ghost encounter, but I have never felt such pure fear and dread before, and hope to never again. Who did that?
I did.
Oh my god. That scared
What
me.
did you do?
I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. What do you mean?
Shush you.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what? Were you hear something actually? What?
I'm jumpy, okay?
Dude, I am so dumb. I was trying to upload my own like Halloween music.
I did the same thing.
And there's one right down here. It says free horror ambience Dart project.
That's the one I added. I did.
Oh,
it.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, you were doing the same thing
We
I
were
was.
doing the
Okay.
same thing.
Oh my
shit.
god!
Here's mine. Hang on. I don't
This
know
is
if
creepy,
mine-
man. Like so.
That's good. Here we go.
I have similar
Oh!
ghost stories, kind of like that, where it's I'm
that's
alone at my job, and I something happens, and I tell the other employees, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw the same thing." Being a projectionist, you spend a lot of time alone in dark places.
That's like me.
I went for a very subtle
That's good.
ambience.
That is creepy. It's
That's
like making
better
my
than
hair
this.
stand. Oh, what is that? I don't know.
That's makeup tutorial music. Adam, what did you come up with? Great story.
What did I
by
come
the way.
up with?
Yeah,
Thanks.
you
Spencer.
took off to watch a bit of a podcast while you're on a podcast to find out specific information. Just wondering
Okay.
what you came up with.
So I can't pronounce it, but I'm at the spot where he references this ancient text that has only been translated into German, and he's actually he's just found this out, and he's trying to get it converted into English.
It's the
Does it sound familiar?
it's the Khufu building text.
Yes,
It's the building text. So the
right.
building text is from this temple that's been built on another temple that was built on another temple, and the Egyptian priests, I'm probably pronounced that wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but the other priests transcribed it on the fucking walls. So that's basically the connection to Egypt's Atlantis myth, which is
Right.
Atlantis myth, which is not called Atlantis. It's called the Island of the Primeval Ones. And it's a story of a serpent coming down, a great flood, a lost sailor ends up on the island. He meets the primeval ones. He meets a serpent, but basically everything gets destroyed in a flood. So it's a flood myth. It's the
Yep.
Egyptian flood myth.
Yeah.
And he connects that to Atlantis because prior to that, people have said Egypt has never mentioned Atlantis. They've never had a flood myth, and that's just not true. So,
Right. I thought that was really cool, and I'm like, oh shit, I need
serpent
that text.
comes down like a meteor, and then there's a flood.
well, one thing Graham really goes
Very
into
close.
is how much has been attributed to the Greeks. You know, inventing pi and astronomy, basically. Although
And the zodiac.
astrology,
right.
the zodiac could go back to Mesopotamia, Sumer, Mesopotamia, one of the two. But it actually goes back way further, and they talked about cave paintings that shows the Pleiades that are 30,000 years old, and
Right, the
there's
bull.
Göbekli Tepe, and there's the fact that all of these ancient, like prior to the Greeks, all of these ancient sites are just perfectly aligned to certain, zodiac symbols, right? Yeah. When they're not supposed to know them. So they were just lucky the whole time. That was an amazing coincidence.
Right.
It's an amazing coincidence. But it's pretty clear that is some ancient, like forgotten knowledge that came from somewhere else, or it's developed over 100,000 years, 200,000
Like the
years.
meter.
300
It's like the meter getting
exactly.
rediscovered.
The French discovered the meter.
Oh, the meter.
We totally made it up ourselves. We didn't steal it from anybody. But those H blocks,
Yep.
Yeah.
those H blocks are a meter wide. Exactly. That's
Yeah. Perfect.
what a coincidence. And they're different shaped, but it's either their width or their length is exactly the same, not their height. And it's we watched that documentary. It was great. It's one of the best documentaries I've seen this year. That was translated from French. First part was better than the second part, but that was a good find.
Yeah, that first part was great.
Yeah, so that's the Edfu building text, the Edfu building text, and they are translated. It is translated in German, which is better than what we had. I don't think it would be hard to find a German guy who knows English. Like, how hard is that?
We have a few in the chat right now.
Uh-huh.
Probably.
So yeah, have you read Fingerprints of the Gods yet, Adam?
I haven't. I don't have any of Graham's books, and it's a damn shame.
Okay, you need to read the books.
Which one would you go with first?
Start with Fingerprints of the Gods, then go to Magicians of the Gods, then go to America Before to get like the full Graham. Then you can go back to some other past Sign and the Seal and Underworld. Those are two really good ones too. But like the three I would get right now, they're all available on audio. Some of them are read by Graham now. Not Fingerprints of the Gods, but Magicians of the Gods and America Before, which is basically a sequel to Magicians of the Gods that he could have like folded into that book. But Fingerprints of the Gods, like I'd start reading it tonight. It'll blow your fucking mind. And this is before he knew about Göbekli Tepe. Keep that in mind. Because the reason he came back and wrote Magicians of the Gods was because of Göbekli Tepe.
Ah, okay. So Magicians came after the discovery.
Fingerprints, yeah.
They have an audible version if you want of Fingerprints of the Gods. It's
Of all of
18
them.
hours.
Damn. I think I would want this book anyway.
Well, you want pure information? That's what it is.
Yeah, I want it like the physical media of this.
You want the book.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to send it to you.
Evidence of the Earth's-
I've got multiple copies of that book.
Do you?
I do.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want one of yours. Sure.
Dude, I like
Before.
my very first purchase on Amazon.com was the Bermuda Triangle by Charles Berlitz. Because I had that book before, wanted it again. That's my, my Amazon account is started in 98. So I still have
Holy
it
shit.
and I can track every purchase back to 98. I can go
Nice.
search
Wow.
it. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yep.
Dang.
Back when they were just books.
When there were just books, there weren't pictures all the time. And it was like used books. A lot of it was just old used books.
Cool.
So it was, good old days. Good old days of Amazon before it took over the world and Jeff Bezos wanted to go to space. Dude, that
In
B
a dick.
plot, and fuck up Lord of the Rings. I wish he
Oh,
would have
God.
stayed in space.
Yeah.
I mean, taking William Shatner to space, good. Fucking up Lord of the Rings, very bad.
And Wheel of Time.
And
fucking
Wheel of
bad.
Time.
Don't forget about that.
So you're going to
Just
have to
saying.
take William Shatner to space about 100 more times and cancel Rings of Power.
Please cancel it.
Well, they will eventually. Like,
And cancel Wheel of Time too, because that is fucking trash, man.
dude, I watched that show.
It's so bad.
I am telling you, and completely
So funny.
objectively, Vampire Diaries was a better show in every way, shape, or form.
I
It had
agree
better
with that.
Did you read
It had
Wheel of
better
Time?
characters. No, but I watched the show. I watched the show with Shad, and I'm
You
like,
don't have
how-
to read it to know that it's bad.
No, no. That's a bad show. And if that was
True.
truly based on the book, I would say the book sucked because
Right.
that's a bad show. But it's not based on the book, so the book is fine.
Correct.
Um,
No, the book is awesome. It's
No,
fantastic.
they did exactly to that what they did to Rings of Power. Shad gave me enough info, like while he's explaining each character as they come across the screen, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's all, that's the main character. I'm like, that little beta right now that's getting saved is the main character.
Who
Modern
you never
Hollywood.
see ever.
Yeah,
You
the
see him
main
so
effing
little.
character.
I have watched season 1 because I love Wheel of Time, so I watched it and I was very disappointed. Now I just watch it through Shad and Disparu. Sadly, it's fun to listen to them dunk on it.
Two wonderful people, by the way.
True.
Shad and Disparu, two of my favorite people.
It was really cool to meet both of them.
Here it
too.
is.
Yeah.
Here it is, and then we'll get to the next ghost story. You wanna? Yeah, I'll share this. I could do it.
Yeah, I was just reading up on the Edfu temple.
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh no!
Order
No
your
way!
tickets
Here,
now.
I'll open it on Brave.
Yeah.
You know what? Just while we're on that, I mean, I've never seen them try to push buying tickets for anything before. I mean, I think I've seen it, but like this feels way more blatant. Like, buy your tickets today.
Oh, dude,
Like,
it's going to get beat by
what?
Five Nights at Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy is going to make more money than the Marvels,
Yeah.
which is
I hope so.
balanced
Which it
returning
should.
to the world. It should.
It's
I'm gonna
respectful to the fan base that enjoys Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm watching it tonight with Junior. By the way, I'll try to hold back the pride tears. As I was walking in for the show, my son, my youngest son, and his buddy are kicking it in my media room watching Venture Brothers.
Nice.
Passing
Bless.
it down to the next.
Aww.
I'm just all, what's up, son? I'm okay.
Nice.
It's great. It's great knowing that I have achieved dadhood, proper dadhood. Decrypting the Temple of Edfu and the Edfu text. Edfu is located between Luxor and Aswan, not to be confused with Aswan. In the southern area of Egypt, the city, which is situated on the west bank of the Nile, is world famous for its temple, which was built during the Ptolemaic period. Anybody gonna help me with this word?
Ptolemaic.
The Ptolemaic. So drop the P like with
It's like
pterodactyl.
pterodactyl.
Okay.
Pterodactyl.
Ptolemaic period. The Temple of Edfu, dedicated to the god Horus, is the second largest temple in Egypt. After the Roman period, the temple was gradually buried by desert sand and silt from the Nile. As a result, the temple was forgotten and was only rediscovered during the 19th century. Apart from its size and state of preservation, the Temple of Edfu is also notable for its large number of inscriptions, collectively known as the Edfu text, which seem to cover every available service. That is not a waste of space. I
cool.
appreciate that about the Egyptians, by the way. I think that shit looks just cool.
You like comic
Or the
books?
chem-
That's
or
like
could
the
have been the
origins
chemet.
of comic books.
That is comic books.
That's a good point. Yeah. But this could have been
Hieroglyphics
the
are just
Kemet.
Egyptian cartoons. That's all they are. Okay. The city of Edfu is known also by several other names. The ancient Egyptians, for instance, knew the city as Badet, while the Greeks and Romans called it Apollonopolis. Apollonopolis? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Apollonopolis.
Looks like
Apollonopolis. Yeah.
Nailed
Fucking
it.
go with the Egypt. All this Bakalakis, Apollopolis, Greek shit. The later name. I'm looking at you, George.
George is like, what?
The later name, he's a motherfucker. The later name was a reference to the city's chief god, Horus, from the Greek, whom the Greeks identified as their own Apollo. Although Edfu is most famous for its Ptolemaic temple, the city's history stretches much further back in time. Yeah, so that's it. We can't get in all of it because we got to get the ghost stories. But
Dope.
Check it out, man.
Adam,
That's
wait
cool.
till you read Graham Hancock. Now it's time. You've listened to enough podcasts.
I have
It's time to get to
hours
the books.
and hours.
And
Tens of
you will
hours.
be, it's going to distract you, dude. You're going to get so down the rabbit hole. Your wife's going to be calling you. You're like, wait a minute, I got to finish this. And you got to like
Oh
do
my
live streams.
God.
Live streams, you're going, no, fuck that. I got to finish the book. You're going to take it on walks with you. Everywhere you go, you're going to take it in the bathroom. You're going to play it in the shower. You won't stop. It's great.
Dope.
So dope.
Man.
Oh, man. We got to
I
go.
want to like just.
We have
touch
to go.
that.
We
Yeah.
have to go.
We do. Properly film it like an actual video.
Very cool. Very cool.
Temple of Horus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to go to there.
I want to be there.
I want to be there. We gotta there's some things we have to do for this show. For one, we got to get this channel up to 100,000 subs. I never asked for subs on this channel. But,
You know what?
I appreciate
Are
everybody.
you
that subs.
subscribed yet? Are you subscribed? You should be subscribed to this channel. All right. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for?
Thank
Have you shared? Have you shared this video? Have you shared our live streams? Right now, go share it. And then ask other people to subscribe so we can get to 100K. Come on. I need a new plaque for my wall. All right.
There you go. That's right.
want a
That's
new
what
plaque.
I need. That's all I want it for. No, it's actually we're gonna. I've talked about it before. We're gonna change this to the Forbidden Frontier channel. We're gonna
It's gonna
move
be official.
the Nerdrotic Nooner live streams to daily, right? Or any other stored live streams will just go to daily, which makes more sense because that's where our clips are anyway. So, and then we can just keep this, and then we can start making videos on this channel of this subject matter. It'll mostly be clips from our live streams, but I'll also like once in a while, especially if like there's some big UFO news or some major discovery. Another thing, they need to get Graham and Randall together with the fucking Alaskan boneyard guy. He was asking about it.
Yes.
Like
And
that
what,
shit
Graham
needs
didn't
to
even know
happen.
about it?
No.
I know.
And Graham's, Graham's old, right? So I don't think he knows exactly if Joe took the time to show him a 10-minute video of this guy, Graham would be going up there because it's
wild.
it puts an
insane.
exclamation point on the fucking theory that there was a cataclysm. Like in a 5-acre area, they have found hundreds of thousands of bones, maybe creeping up into the millions at some point, and thousands of different species, including people, although they're not saying it, and
Potentially.
and no, bones that were sawed in half by people.
Yeah. They
Which
bring it
they
up
mention.
on the show. They bring it up.
Yeah.
It is clearly sawed off bone.
So in a layer of muck, what does that tell you? There was a giant fucking flood and everything died.
And it all got washed into certain areas. And this is
they
one of
got
those
washed into
areas.
certain areas, and this is an area, and then there's another area that they're going to go to. And again, it's 5 acres. It's a 5-acre. It's not big at all. So, that should change everything. Like, Graham should be running up there right now. I mean, like, Easter Island's cool, but you've been there before, dude. Go to the boneyard. And Randall needs to go there, too. So I know Randall listens to every show. Randall, get your ass up there. And then come on our show, because we love you.
Please.
Because we love you. All right.
Thank you.
X-Ray Girl. Next ghost story.
Oh, okay. We have this one's from Ewan.
Yeah, Garrett. That's what I'm talking about.
8 years ago, my wife and I moved into a tiny, newly built rental in a suburb that was a little dicey in Auckland. We were lucky enough to be its first occupants. The house was built about 60 meters off the main road, down by an overgrown creek. Despite the wider neighborhood, we were very happy that we secured a tidy, newly built home for our young boys. Upstairs, we had a small bathroom and 3 bedrooms, with our 3-year-old son directly across from the master. Each night, my wife or I would go take our 3-year-old to bed and read to him or sing him a song with our back to the door in the hallway. Repeatedly, while I was putting my son to bed, I would hear or catch out of the corner of my eye my wife walking down the hallway into the bathroom. Sometimes, I would call out to her to bring a bottle or come say goodnight with no answer. I popped my head out into the hallway to repeat the question to see no one was there, and the sound of my wife down the stairs in the opposite direction. Some nights, my wife would come downstairs after putting my son to bed, asking why I didn't respond, or if I had been to the bathroom. I shrugged and I said, I wasn't upstairs. It became so frequent that my wife would want me upstairs with her to say goodnight. You never felt comfortable turning your back to the hall and always sat to keep an eye out. After a couple of months, one night we were woken up at around 2 a.m. to the sound of our 3-year-old giggling and talking in toddler speak. I get up and go into his room, and our 3-year-old is sitting at the end of the bed looking at me. Why are you awake, buddy? Why are you playing? It's very late, I say as I scoop him up and lay him back to bed. I'm playing with the boy. He's very funny, my son replies. Okay, bud, but you need to sleep, yeah? Okay, he is very funny. The man is not, though. Literally felt my whole body tense and goosebumps run across my arms. Yeah, F that. Cool story, son. Good night. Quickly dashed from the room, closing our door. Thankfully, we were gone a month later as it was the end of our lease.
Wow.
No, we're all sleeping in the same bed until we leave.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not putting my kid to sleep in a different room. No.
Melissa showed Logan Poltergeist. I ended up watching it. That's why I'm late with the video, by the way, because I was like, I'm going to watch 5 minutes of it, then I'm going to start my video.
Freaking good, man. I
Watch
love
the whole
that
damn
show.
thing.
Such a good
Poltergeist
movie.
is great. That sounded like Poltergeist. They're here.
Ooh, that one gave me shivers too.
That was a good one.
Oh, man.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was good.
Who was that? Who started
That was Ewan, at EWAN.
Ewan.
Yeah, I don't want to say the last name to dox him, so.
No,
Thank
just
you.
say his address,
That's creepy.
His exact email address.
phone number.
Which
card
city
info.
he's from, his SIM card, or oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh, Adam's got lights going too.
Ooh.
Trying to get it split.
Oh, should I make it dark here too? Is everyone doing this?
Yeah, why not?
I gotta get the lights I can control with my phone, because like I can control it with that light, with my phone on that light, but not these.
You can? You coordinate? Yeah, you
Need
gotta
to-
come here and
I need to
Yeah.
replace these.
you
but
need to
I-
come here and help
It's
me.
cool.
Gary, I have a website that I'm gonna start picking out some lights. We can light up that room.
Okay, let me see if I
Thank
can get a
you.
red light going.
Because when you come here, it looks neat now, but you'll laugh. Because I have every outlet has a plug in it. Like every single one. And I could have done it smarter, but why bother?
Mhm.
You got another
her done.
Oh,
story?
I got tons.
right.
Lots of people sent in. All right, so this is from Trixie. Thank you, Trixie, for sending this in. So, when our parents had to go out of state for business trips, my cousin and I went to stay with our grandmother, and she lived in an old farmhouse built in the 1850s. One night, my cousins and I were staying up late, playing a board game on the dining room table, and the dining room had stairs leading down into the cellar. The chit-chat turned to the history of the house, and my mom had told us that the son of the previous owners had tragically died from a medical issue, so ghosts became the topic. My two oldest cousins, upon seeing the unease of us younger girls, conspired to freak us out even more by talking about how they had seen and interacted with the ghost of the boy and how cute he was. And evidently, something did not like that. Their story was brought to an immediate end by a horrific crash down in the cellar. And we were all sitting there, petrified with fear, gazing anxiously at the cellar door and expecting something to come barreling out at us any moment. We eventually ended up locking the door for whatever good that would do and retreated upstairs to bed, where we continued nervously discussing what had happened. The next day, we mustered the courage to head down into the cellar, and what we saw did little to quell our fears, as the remnants of a stone wall were strewn across the floor as if something of considerable force had smashed into it.
Whoa.
Grandma shrugged it off as the work of some unknown animal, a species of Kool-Aid man, apparently. While we were all convinced it must have been an angry spirit that my cousins had provoked. Whatever it was that knocked that wall down, it sure put the fear in us, and we never talked, let alone joked, about ghosts in that house ever again.
Wait. So did it like come in from like an exterior wall, or was it like a wall in the middle of the floor?
I think
like
it was in the room in the cellar, like, because it's an old 1850s house.
Right, but so what? You go down in the cellar. Was it one of like, because you have 4 walls, so one
Maybe it
of
was
those
a dividing
fell
wall?
in, and you saw like dirt on the other side,
I don't
or
know.
was it? I'm so curious. If that
I
was
would
me,
love to know.
I would have gone down there immediately. I would have been like,
I
need
mean,
to go
I would have called the cops,
dying
to be
first,
honest.
man.
No, I called the cops.
I would have. If it was my house and like even if we were talking and like something crashed in the basement, bro, I would have gone down.
Yeah, you were like
immediately.
thief
Oh,
down
no,
there and
actually,
beat his ass.
I'd get Mark to get
I
his
don't know.
gun, and someone would go down there with the gun.
Yeah, I would have been down there.
Baseball bat or something.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
locked the door.
'Cause what
Nah.
if that thing was still there? the next
Ugh.
day? Oof. I don't know.
All right.
Stories like this always creep me out because
Would you go down there?
Never know.
No, I know not you,
No.
extra. I know you wouldn't go down there.
you know we do well.
Gary, would you go down there?
Yes.
Me too.
Yep.
Garrett?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah.
The
If
next
my
day,
family's there, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check it out. I'm not
Exactly.
just gonna let it.
You have to check for the safety of
Facts.
your family too.
I went outside at 3
know.
in the
That's
morning.
true.
Okay, so to go
have
chasing down a drunk guy
Yeah.
in the
I
middle
have
of the
to
street.
search it.
Guys screaming help,
I
so
have to
I'd do
search
it.
it on Facebook because I know I posted it on Facebook many years ago, 10 years ago. But it was, I was playing bass in my office downstairs in San Francisco. So I have a little in-law in my, that's the extra room that's in a what's a garage, which is the lower part of your house. It's essentially the basement of your house, but it's not underground. Like everything is just built on a second level. And I'm playing bass down there, and my son is Logan. He was what, 8, 9 at the time. So he had a jar of pennies, and I was playing the bass, and he was like shaking the jar of pennies along with the bass, and it was making an excruciating noise, but I didn't care because I was sitting there playing the bass, and it was and he kept going and going, and he would record our sessions on my computer, right? He'd record it. So we went back and played it, and we heard a voice. We straight up hear a voice, and I posted this, and I'm like, did you hear that? Like, is this just me? I'm like, I ain't touching the bass. I didn't like go up, I didn't, my ring didn't hit one of the strings and go up the fret, because that's the kind of sound it made. A voice like it was yelling into a microphone, so it was like kind of blown out,
peaking voice or something.
peaking voice.
So it wasn't mistakable. Like there was a voice there.
And I kind of remember what it was. Something to the effect of "stop."
Yeah. Stop, please.
Please stop.
I will see if
Tell
I
me
can
you
find
found
this
the video.
video,
Oh,
but
okay.
Anybody who knows me from the comic shop days, I played it in my comic shop too, and I'm like, again, not saying it's a voice, but people heard it and they would get legit creeped out. They go, "What the fuck?" And our house was built in 1910. Our house was built with redwood, which you can't do anymore. And in the foundation of that house, this is a separate story, there's little kitty paw prints in the cement foundation, which had to be laid minimum in the 30s, right? Because the house had been lifted up, renovated a million times, since 1910. Maybe it was 1910, but I don't know.
Cool.
The bathroom's an addition to the house, by the way. Our bathroom on the back was an addition. You used to have to go out and into the outhouse. And
Same here. Yeah, my
Take a
house is
shit.
from 1850. She said
There you go.
1850, and I'm like looking around. I look over, and there's like a face outside my window, like, yeah.
So there's these little kitty paw prints in our foundation. It's one of the first things we noticed. There's no human footprints, but there was kitty paw prints. I'm like, a little kitty walked across here 100 years ago, 80 years ago, whatever. Didn't think much of it. At the time I moved to San Francisco, I had a black cat and a gray cat. A gray cat. The gray cat was older, hated Melissa for some reason. Just did. But she kept to herself most of the time. So we kept seeing her in places she wasn't supposed to be. Like, I'd go downstairs and her name was Ariel. All right, I did name the cat. Okay, I did name the cat. It's just her name. Her name was Ariel. And I'm like, Ariel, what are you doing? And, I didn't chase her out. I knew she would just come up. Then I come upstairs, and there's Ariel sitting on the fucking couch. I'm like, that's weird. I don't recall seeing her go by my feet up the stairs or anything like that. And shit like that kept happening. At the corner of your eye, you'd see a cat. And I'm like, that must be Ariel, because it was a gray cat. But Melissa's like, no, Ariel's in here with me on the bed. I'm like, well, that's weird. She sees stuff. My oldest son starts seeing stuff. The weirdest one is when we go out of town. We're in London for the first time, 20 years ago. The second time, it was for our second trip. And while we're gone, we're going to have Venetian plaster put in our house by these two gay guys, two muscly gay guys who work with Melissa, because they also do Venetian plaster on the side, aside from hair. It was great. So these two muscly gay guys go to our house, and they're doing the Venetian plaster in our house, and they're like, "Hey, what should we feed your cat?" And we're like, "Cat? Our cats are we're in London. We put them in the pet hotel." They're like, "Well, we're looking at your cat right now." I'm like, "We ain't got a cat there."
Oh, no.
And it wasn't like a neighborhood cat. And they got freaked out because we told them about the ghost cat. I'm like, "Oh, that must be the ghost cat. That must be the ghost cat." But
They're
they
like,
called us to
"What?"
let us know, what should we feed your cat? And we're like, now
Oh my God.
could a cat be living in our house? I would know. There would be cat shit everywhere and piss downstairs, and there wasn't. So,
But you never saw saw it. It was always in the corner of your eye. Or
no,
like
I
you
saw
kinda
it.
like
I straight
you,
up
you saw it.
looked at a cat and thought it was my other cat.
But it looked just like Ariel?
Damn, just like Ariel.
Huh.
But Ariel looked like every other gray cat you could possibly think of.
Okay, yeah.
But with weight variation. When she got older, she got fat, but that was it. So that's my ghost story. The ghost cat of
That's cool.
I almost said my address. I guess it doesn't matter if I say my old address, but if San Francisco, we'll just say San Francisco.
Yeah. Well,
The
I
Crocker-
told my ghost story
Crocker Amazon.
from the coast of Jersey. And in fact, I got a lot of comments on that video from people that were, "I'm here from Forbidden Frontier. Cool."
Awesome.
I do have an interesting story that I think it was a ghost, and it wasn't targeting me. I think it was targeting my wife. I was traveling to the East Coast. Actually, I think I was moving to. I was either moving to New York. No, I wasn't moving to New York. I think I was moving to Jersey when I was finally bringing my wife to, like, when we started Timcast IRL. And we got to, had to be in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania maybe, or Kentucky, or one of those like rural spots. It's getting really late. We're both really tired, and we decide, let's just, there's one hotel. It looks like it's right off the road. We get off, and it's not right off the road. You got to go like another couple miles through the woods, and it's like finally we get to the spot, and it's like just this one motel. And I'm like, all right, this seems fine enough. There was a lot of cars in the parking lot, which is usually a good sign, right? If there was no cars, it'd be like, all right, this feels a little sketchy, but it was like lit up nice, and there was a lot of cars, and I'm like, all right, this is fine, just to sleep one night and keep moving. So I go in and I get the keys, and we go into our room for the night. And in the middle of the night, I don't know what time it was actually, I hear my wife gasp, and she was freaked out. And I'm like, what's happening? What is it? She said, someone was stroking my cheek like this. And she was sleeping, and she kind of was like, like, Adam, stop, thinking it was me. And it kept doing it, stroking her cheek. And she woke up and looked over at me, and I was sleeping. So she freaked out. She was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna try to go back to sleep." And it happened again. And this is when I woke up, and she basically was like, "Please stop. I need you to stop." Talking to whatever it was, because she felt like something was, stroking her cheek. And she got this vibe that it wasn't malicious, like it was like a childlike wonder of like, oh, look at this pretty girl. And about an hour later, I think the sun was, it had to be like 4 a.m., maybe 5. You can see the sky was slightly lightening, and there was a on the door. Now, me, I woke up immediately. I was out of the bed like that. Like someone's pounding on my door, right? So I woke up immediately. She woke up and was like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "Someone's at the door." And I got up, walked right to the door, looked out. There was nothing there. Opened the door, walked outside, and we were on the second floor. So you couldn't just like get around the building. I saw it was one of those like outdoor motels. It wasn't like an inner hallway. You were just immediately outside. So I you know, I'm in my underwear and I'm standing there and I'm like, I see nothing. But there was there was a strong pounding at the door. Like something pounded on the motel door. And like I was there and like I was up and out of bed because like my defense mechanism was triggered. Like I was like, what is it? You know? And there was nothing there. And we were both just like, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. Like we're done with this place. We freaking got back in our car and we were out.
No way.
So that was another encounter that I had in the middle of nowhere. Of course.
I've told you guys
Appalachia.
my ghost stories about projection, working at the movie theater. Have I told you these?
I don't.
Perhaps. But I'll tell you
Tell
anyways.
them again, Garrett.
Yeah.
Do it again.
So I worked as a projectionist at a 14-house movie theater. And the way it was built was like a long hallway upstairs. So you'd have a long hallway. Each side was projectors. And if you've never been into a projection, it's very dimly lit because you don't want any light bleed into the theaters. You have to be very quiet. But in there, it's nothing but whirring projectors. It's old style 35 millimeter with platters. They're constantly running. So it's not all just one situation. This happened multiple times. One time, I was looking at my clipboard, looking for the next drop of the next movie. And I'm walking down the hallway, and then somebody walks past me. And I don't think anything of it because I think maybe it's a manager or something, but not a lot of people are up there. Employees aren't allowed to go up there. But it was an employee, it wasn't a manager. Didn't look at him, I just saw that they were kind of like a short, round person. I'll say. Continue walking, and then I turn around, and they're not there anymore, and I'm like, okay. I just recently, maybe 20, 30 steps past the manager's office. Maybe an employee was going to the manager's office for whatever reason. So I continue with my day, and I go down and ask. I was like, and that the person didn't seem like anybody I'd seen before, and I figured maybe this person was a new employee. They were going to the manager's office to be orientated. I go and I ask him later on. I'm like, hey, who is that new person? And we don't have anybody new. It was a Friday. Usually that's when new people would show up. So I was like, well, no, it was a short person. She was kind of fat. They were like, we have not hired anybody like that.
Fat shamer.
Just descriptive. Just being descriptive.
But it was a girl though.
Yes. Yeah. So it just imagine you're looking at your clipboard, like focusing on that, and then you see just like a shape, and somebody walking past. So I was like, okay, it was weird. Move on. Another day. There's 14 theaters, like I said. And outside of 14 and 13 is a bathroom. And this happened to me multiple times. Coming out of the bathroom, you would see something standing in between the projector and the platter of 13. And then it would be like your cat, just out of the corner of your eye when you're opening the door and you're kind of moving around, because it's very dimly lit. It could just be my eyes, but I saw it several times, and I wasn't the only one. Other employees heard this or saw this.
Also at 13?
Also in between 13. They also saw them at the opposite end of the building, over at, I think it was 5 and 6. They're on the opposite side, close to the stairwell. Again, different day. I'm threading up 13. I'm going through the brain on the platter, threading the film over to the projector side, and as I pass from the platter to the projector side on the other side, my radio, which we always have to carry radios, it just starts going and I pass and it stops. And I was like, what the heck? So So I walk back into the area, right in between, right where that's the figure that you always see. And it starts. So I take it off, and I can physically find the. It was almost like an orb of space where this was happening. It could be like, and you could three-dimensionally find out where this abnormality was. And then that space started to move. Like I was like, this is strange. And then it went up and then into the ceiling. And then it wouldn't affect the radio anymore.
What the fuck? That's cool.
So strange.
That is insane.
Come to find out, the other half of the building, the original number of the movie theater was 10 theaters. They added on 4 theaters to this theater. So on the other back half, the other end, there was a construction worker that fell when they were putting in the ceiling scaffolding and died, and his name was Eddie. And that's what a lot of the employees were like, that's who you saw. Because other projectionists that worked there before me saw stuff, ones that worked there during while I was working there. And a lot of the times when you're an employee, like during the week, you'd be working alone, cleaning theaters by yourself, and you'd see stuff. So I don't know if it's just something trick of the light, trick of the mind space being up there alone, but definitely saw a lot of weird stuff.
Ooh.
Cool.
It's almost like one of those ghost detecting methods, and like phasmophobia. Yeah.
Garrett,
I quit.
get out.
Ooh.
And then I would get the hell out.
X-ray.
Oh, you're dead.
It sounded just like that.
When we do more videos hitting like the 100K, we could go independently, kind of like how I did with the abandoned hospital.
Yes.
I would if there was stuff like that near me. I should look it up. I wonder
We
if
should
there
look
is.
it up. Because
There
I
are
know a lot of
locations
people
in
sent me
Texas.
There's tons of haunted stuff in Texas.
stuff in Ontario, so
Yeah.
I know
I'd
in
be down
Europe.
for it.
I found some stuff actually in London. Or not in London, in England. And I hit Azip. I'm like, hey, check out this spot. Would you be down? And he was like, fuck no.
no, he is a big coward, just like me.
I was like, come on, man, it'd be so
Come
badass.
on,
He's like,
dude.
no.
That'd be so good.
No,
Before we get to
no.
soups, X-Ray Girl, you got a ghost story? A personal one?
No,
You were in
well,
those hospitals with all those dead people dying in the hospitals, and you never saw like.
Nothing?
It's hard to know for sure, but one of the hospitals that when I was training, they would say that you could hear like IV poles just walking down the hallway, and no one was with the IV pole.
Like where they're like pulling it along with them because they got an IV bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never personally had like an instance. I mean, even my brothers say that where we grew up, the apartment we lived in, there was apparently a little boy. Did I ever see the little boy? They teased at me as if I saw it, but I don't know. Apparently, I thought I saw one out of the corner of my eye peeking around a door. It was like my younger brother. I was like, why'd you come like to my room? And he's like, I wasn't there. But I thought they were just fooling around with me, so who knows?
Sounds like
things like that.
you phased it out. You're like, I'm
Maybe,
just gonna
yeah.
forget that memory.
Mm-hmm.
That memory
Easier
doesn't
to
exist.
do that because if you close your mind off to those things, allegedly they leave you alone, and I prefer it that way. Allegedly.
Speaking as a brother, especially a little brother, I cannot confirm or deny that I did a lot of things to
Well,
fuck with
and
my sister.
That is why it's like, is it really something that happened? No, it's not. They always do stuff like that to make me cry.
My sister
They
hits hard.
always do.
I was little, but she'd wail on me. Oh shit.
And then you got to get her back by doing it again.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
What else
So
are you supposed to do?
Until she's old
Nothing
enough to buy a
definite.
beer. And you act properly. Let's get to super chats.
Super chat.
Shall we? Super
Sounds
chats.
good.
Fizzenthorpe for $20. Gary, please don't get upset with this.
Oh
but
my
I won't get upset. But I won't get upset, Fizzenthorpe. I know you've been around for a long, long time. Been with you since Game of Thrones season 8 days. I watched the Exozone and you with Doomcock and enjoyed the back and forth that he has. Is he completely gone from your circle? Now it's a shame. That was like a couple years ago, 3 years ago. What my circle is, Fizzenthorpe is this channel, and it's Quarter Black, X-Ray Girl, Lady Greymaster, Perry. I have co-hosts like Adam and stuff, but I don't tell Adam what to do. Adam can stream where he wants. He'd go right back on Timcast tomorrow. Wouldn't judge him for it. Wouldn't care.
I would judge him for it.
Yeah. So some things, I'll never say never, but some things just don't work out. I had a first marriage, you know. Some things just don't work out, but I would never dream of getting in anybody's way. So, and
by the
never
way,
have and never will.
Shout out to Lady Grapemaster, because
Yeah.
I didn't follow her until the London trip, and then I started following her. Fucking based as shit. Holy
Yeah.
She's
shit.
hilarious. Wait till you meet her in person.
Funny.
She
And
was
I
a
was like,
Marine.
Lady G is awesome.
No, when I get
She is.
put Lady G,
Pretty awesome.
she does research for us on the side, right? So I'm, I have her do the tedious work. I do a lot of my own research and finding clips, but I'm like, hey, Lady Greymaster, I need a really good list, not complete, because if I say complete to her, she will complete it, and I will never have time. So I have to be very specific with my instructions, or I will get the Encyclopedia Britannica of Lady Greymaster. And I asked her for all the race swap gingers and superheroes, and she had it within an hour. Boom.
Wow.
Excel list for my next video.
Wow.
Great resource. For sure.
But yeah, I've streamed with a lot of people that I don't necessarily stream with anymore, and just you guys don't need to know about like the ins and outs of. I mean, it's not important to what I do on the channel, right? Human beings are human beings. Not everybody gets along. Not everybody loves me. That's fine. I don't care. But behavior matters to me. Authenticity matters to me. Those things matter a lot to me because I know they matter a lot to you. And that's why this channel will be the way it is. And yeah, but I'll never say never on anything. Like I've had people have given me 4th and 5th chances. I'm not against that at all. But it's stupid drama. And when I get around stupid drama, I tend to just remove myself from it. I don't have time for it. I'm too old for this shit.
Understandable.
The Discovery series, Johan Naxos for $10. The Discovery series, Life After People, explains how they came to be in the rainforest after about 1,000 years. If left alone, our modern cities will be reclaimed by nature almost 100%. Yes, that was an amazing special. Randall brought it up. And yeah, like metal degrades. I think Randall even showed pictures of a car he told the story of a car that's in a lot near his house that's 50 years old, and the thing's almost gone in just 50 years. So that's why so many stone structures remain, because they're going to be the ones that remain. And that's why you can tell certain things are older than 5,000 years. Just look at I forgot what it's called. There's like that white substance that gets on rocks. What's it called, chat? There's a name for it. That takes years to build up. Also, when you're looking at rain damage on a rock, you know how fucking long it takes for that to happen? That takes a long time, especially granite, something like that. That's insane. It's insane.
That's why when I think about the Grand Canyon, which I've been to many times in my life, I have family in Arizona, so it's kind of been one of those places that I've come and gone, and then like my wife and her family wanted to go, so like we went. So I was there a couple years ago, and I'm like thinking about like Randall's theories and the scablands and like where that is, and then Jimmy talks about comparing it to the Mississippi, which is supposed to be millions and millions of years older, and it's just how is that, unless it's a deluge from like a massive ice block that's just melting and rushing this way. I don't see it, man. It's crazy.
It is crazy. I'm gonna get the word wrong, but it was like lentil. That's what it was. Something with an L. So there's like a white substance that either grows on the rock or something like that.
Lichen.
Yeah, lichen. Thank you.
Isn't that? Wait, isn't lichen like
Say
mushroom,
calcium
though?
too.
It's not.
It's calcium. It's something, but there's like so
calcites?
much on the rocks, and then you see the weathering on the rocks. And I climbed up the back of Half Dome. How long has that been there? How long has Half Dome been there?
That's cool.
It's weathered, but it's not like weathered like the inside of the Sphinx. But it's been there longer. It takes a long time. By the way, climbing up the back of Half Dome in the 80s when it used to be a wire that's like bolted to the back of the fucking rock, and then lightning would strike.
Holy shit.
You'd probably close your fists, so you're probably fine.
Or remember, they used to off of El Capitan, they used to like build these bonfires and then push them off the fucking cliff because it looked rad, and it would
Sounds
mostly
rad.
go out before it hit the valley floor, but sometimes it wouldn't. But they did that for years, and you're like, that was pretty stupid. We were talking about
the first time I went to the Grand Canyon, there was no fences, nowhere, and it had to be like early 90s when I was a kid, like young kid. I think I was like 7 or something when I first went, and I remember getting the first time in my life that I felt like butterflies in my stomach because I walked up to the edge and I
do that at El
freaked my family
Capitan.
out.
Do that
And I,
because on El Cap, I got on my stomach and crawled up and then looked over the cliff because it's 3,000 feet straight down. And there's a little pool. There's a little pool at the bottom, which is so funny. But I was like, oh, my stomach goes. "Arr." Dude, I'm so fucking old. When my parents, I saw cave paintings happen. Okay, I was there. No. I'm so fucking old. My parents took me to a ghost mining town, and there was still like bottles and shit from the original residents there.
Wow.
Yeah, and you could just pick it up and walk away and leave. Yeah, we didn't. I wish I did, but I was a kid, so my dad told me not to take anything. The lizard people are real. I don't know. What do you think, Adam?
Hey, man. I've seen Joe Biden before.
Bruno
good.
Champagne
That's-
for 5 Canadian
Hillary.
pesos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Gavin Newsom.
Definitely.
There it is. Tackling Chinese kids.
Dude, what the
The
fuck
heck
was
was
that?
he was
And
like,
then And then he gives him some weird, what a fucking freak that guy is.
weird,
He is so staged. He is so fucking staged that when something natural happens, he has no idea how to fucking act. He's all, what do I do here? Let me just creepily hug the kid and give
let
him
me
a kiss.
molest this kid in front of all these
That's
cameras.
not fucking weird.
Yeah, and then smack him a bunch of times on the ass. Like,
On
what
the
are you-
What?
What are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I was
No.
fine with him like driving the lane and knocking that little shit down because that's, you know what? That's how you fucking learn, kid.
On the streets,
But
that's how
what
you
happened.
play.
That's what happened. My dad did that shit to me. I'm all defensive for my dad. My dad was just it's like, fuck.
I mean, he's trying to freaking juke a little kid in dress shoes on a basketball court. Of course you fall. Like that, you could see he slips because he's wearing like dress shoes on a basketball court. We're like, bro, you can't freaking like break someone's ankles in,
Well, thank
in
God he didn't
freaking
hurt the
dress
kid.
shoes. Who knows if he did or not?
Mentally
He's
hurt him.
probably resilient. You know, they're training their kids to be like, superstars over there.
Oh,
Not
in
TikTok
China?
stars.
They don't have
Yeah.
that many kids anymore. That whole
Right.
like one child policy thing bit them in the ass.
Yeah, it did. Well, not
Uh,
to mention that the I forget the word for killing children, but they did that. If there was a girl, like,
euthanasia.
Infanticide?
Yeah.
Infanticide, yeah,
Infanticide. Is it infanticide
Yeah, they
or
did that, and
infanticide? It was killing kids.
infanticide?
It's fucking weird. Yes, they
yeah, it
did.
was really bad, really bad. As soon as they found out it was a girl, they're like, nope. Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. 40 million or some insane
The guy,
amount.
I can't remember his name now. I watch his videos all the time. He's been on Joe Rogan. He's got a fucking ponytail. What is his name? He's a geopolitical guy. He's got TDS, but aside from his TDS, he's pretty spot on about other stuff. I mean, he's still a capitalist at least. But he's been making some pretty good videos on the population problem and the demographic problem with China and how it's all upside down now. And the leader, Xi Jinping, is that his name? Fucking
Yeah,
Winnie
Xi.
the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh
Yeah.
has killed all of his advisors that used to tell him the truth. He has killed so many messengers. He is now insulated in this bubble of no information because nobody wants to tell him anymore
Used to
any
work at a
bad
place
news
like that.
because they don't want to. Really? I wonder where. McDonald's?
It's that movie theater.
The movie
I
theater.
was talking
Yeah.
about, yeah.
Ah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So couldn't tell him any like real or bad news. Don't do that to me, by the way. If there's some fucking bad news, I want to hear about it, Garrett. Like
I'd tell you,
immediately.
bro.
Okay,
I'd tell
you
you.
better tell me.
I feel like Garrett understands me sometimes.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like we've been through some similar things in life.
Some shit.
Yeah.
I haven't. So, wait.
Ebony and Ivory.
Ivory. So he's insulated now, and like he's getting no information. So like it's falling apart from the inside. And the guy said 10 years, China
Yep.
collapses. And that will be
Yeah.
a shitstorm, by the way. And he said that like our materials will just stop showing up someday. It'll be just like one day the ships don't come to Long Beach or wherever. And
San Diego.
and we'll just stop getting shit. All those companies will lose all their money, and we'll probably have. He brought up this crazy thing. We might have to start manufacturing stuff on our own again.
God,
But
wouldn't
the
that
problem
be
is
great?
we need to get the infrastructure back up, which would take a while. So that's why I think we're shifting to India. But yeah, China, that's a real thing. They're in big trouble. So they can China can talk about taking Taiwan all they want. Can they keep it? Can they keep
Good
it?
point.
That's the question.
Can they take it? Actually,
I don't know.
They're
I don't know.
majorly dug in. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the Taiwanese aren't going to fucking lay down.
No, they're ready for it.
Garrett, you said we are not so intelligent after all. Have you seen any Marvel lately? So yes. Oh, and hail, you beautiful people. Hail to you, Loki Aroth. Daylight savings wasn't for farmers. My grandpa was a farmer his entire life, and he hated daylight savings time. He always blamed golfers and politicians wanting earlier tea times. It was for farmer. I agree with him.
It was for farmers.
It was for
just like the national
farmers.
parks
Yes.
was to preserve the parks. Yeah, sure. That's what they tell you.
Yeah, or not
To
just
settle debts.
not to settle debts or own all the land that's got fossil
Resources.
fuels on it, and
Right.
and then renege on all the Indian reservations, which is fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Food for thought. Would you rather have me hook a set of triples in the dark than drive down the interstate? Can't do it an hour earlier. Well, yeah, just get a flashlight, Bubba Doom. Sorry. He's like, fuck you. I'm a truck driver. I need it. Okay, why don't we have truck driver time? You have your own fucking time, and we'll have our time, and you can run on it, and we'll just, we can call it TDS. Truck daylight savings. Mac McFarland for $10. What's the best way to get a hold of y'all off stream for survival stuff? 411 Bigfoot hunts in Colorado, my old stomping grounds, etc. If X-ray comes with, I have fun toys like a flamethrower and a cannon. What, we can't fuck with that shit?
Yeah, what the heck?
I would
yeah.
love to use a flamethrower.
I would go on a Bigfoot hunt, but we'd have to bring somebody who knows the area because you can get lost in that shit. And we would go deep into like Northern
We
California.
also need to get fit for that too, most likely, to do
Really
all that,
fit.
carry all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
care.
and be
Well,
ready
if you
for
bring
some
up the
creep-
411 map,
Yeah.
Colorado is a hot spot. I mean, a
Yeah,
lot of
Colorado's-
people go missing in Colorado.
Yeah, and just be ready to be creeped out because the woods are creepy at night. They are fucking creepy.
Go ahead.
As
I love
humans,
camping.
we just like rocks and digging holes. It's in our DNA, says Hayden. 75 for $20. I'm not going to argue with that.
That's accurate, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Time used to change. August, candy lobbied to extend to Halloween.
Big candy.
Big candy.
And big candy.
Thank you for becoming a member. Crypt Keeper VT. Crypt Keeper.
Keeper.
But it's like
the
key
picture?
as in key and a PR. God dang it. I'm retarded. Art Bell is still waiting for Ed Dames to give him his gold. even in death. Long live Art Bell. Ed was a scammer. Ed Dames was a piece of shit. Ironworks Gaming for $5. An arrogant piece of shit at that, too.
I can read
what
this one
the-
if you want. It took me
Please
some
do.
time.
Yeah, that birthday thing he did was weird.
Tristan for $1.99. Last year got BBC Lord of the Rings thanks to you. What should I ask for this year?
Some space.
Because space is in your sentence.
Yeah.
Some spaces.
A space bar on your keyboard, man.
that looks like the name of a town in Wales. What should you ask for this year? What was it? Rings of Power?
No, BBC Lord of the Rings.
BBC Lord of the Rings.
Oh, BBC Lord
is
of
that
the
like
Rings.
the animated, like back in the day?
No,
That's
BBC Lord of the Rings is the
audiobook.
audio version where Ian Holm plays Frodo,
Oh, cool. Okay.
and Bill Nye plays Sam,
Oh, cool. All right. Nice.
and John
like Bill Nye.
LeMessurier
The actor.
is Bilbo from Dad's Army. The Brits out there who know what I'm talking about. See, I got some British knowledge. John LeMessurier was the man. Died very well.
Didn't Christopher Lee play somebody in that?
No,
He wasn't in that?
he read. Oh my God, The Children of Huron. I think he read a book. I have it.
Maybe that's what I'm mixing it up with.
Yeah, he read
Not Bill Nye the science guy. Bill Nye the actor.
Bill
Come
Nye
on.
the actor.
Nahi.
That makes so much more
Naive.
sense now. Thank you.
The Silmarillion read by Martin Shaw is good, but Andy Serkis is doing one.
Martin Shaw one's really great, though. It is really good.
Yeah, it is. It is. Martin Shaw does a good job.
Baron and Luthien, that does like my favorite story. Story's so badass.
I almost gave away my super secret project yesterday because there was somebody who said they didn't like it, but that's okay. I'm not going to sit there and argue with somebody on Mahler's channel, especially somebody I like. So, yeah, there's a super secret Mahler project I did with a super secret YouTuber that you used to love, who has been gone for a long time, who came back to talk on it.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh.
It's not out yet?
it's not
You're
out
working on
yet. It'll be out before. It's going to lead up to our 20th anniversary live stream that we're doing.
For Return of the
Lord
King?
of the Rings. Yeah, for Return of the King. So
I think I
Robert's
know who
there.
you're talking about.
Critical Drinkers there. Yeah,
George.
yeah. I might have said too much already, but whatever. We'll get it done. I can't say. Where was I?
Soups?
Here it is. We are so sedentary. We need to move like we did our ancestors. We have a paleo diet, but we need to exercise as such. Solves a lot of ailments. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the
Absolutely.
back problems. That's why we have back problems, because we
Oh.
don't move like hunter-gatherers do.
No,
Yeah.
that's why you should go to the gym. Going to the gym.
Facts.
Most people's
Uh,
cores are not strong enough for their backs. So, especially when you get too big too, like a
Work out.
Work out.
Bad
Lift
for your
heavy
joints.
stuff.
You don't have to look like Adonis. You just have to exercise every day. It's great for your heart. It's great for your back, and it's even better for your brain.
Oh yeah, you feel
Lifting
so
is
much
really
more
great
clear.
for like your joints. It'll hurt for a little bit,
Little
but as
bit.
long as you're not overweighting it, it'll loosen you up.
Yeah.
It's good.
Pepperidge Farm remembers the Slee Stacks. Thank you, Odin. I remember them too. Ghost to Ghost. Good old Ghost to Ghost AM. Those are good episodes. Check out Lex Friedman's interview with Donald Hoffman about how physics is discovering that our conception of space and time is an illusion. Quite trippy. I
The
used to
Y
never-
Files actually just put out well, actually, I don't know. I've been kind of binging a lot of Y Files, but they have this awesome. Is gravity real? I think that's the name of the video, and it's interesting because I stopped watching it halfway through, and that's when I watched the Randall about the plasmoids, and then I went back to finish this Y Files podcast, and he immediately dives into the plasmoids. And he's
It's
like,
like perfect.
oh, there's this. And I'm like, what is this freaking universe?
Synchronicity, man.
Hey,
That's what
It's cool. It's cool.
I was supposed to call him a couple days ago. 3 days
Oh, you
ago.
got to. I can't
Do
wait
it.
to interview him. He's
No,
freaking
no.
I was in the
It's-
middle of
well,
watching
it's-
the War for the Kyber Belt. The Cube? How do you say that? This is a great
He's
video.
tough. He's got a busy channel, but there's another
Yeah.
guy I want to bring
True.
on. Mike Barra. Mike Barra
Vera. That sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
was on Ancient Aliens back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good. We're gonna get Mike. I'm gonna try to get Mike Barra on. I'm gonna talk to him first, see if he's okay with it. But I like Mike Barra a lot.
You get Giorgio on. Just saying.
Giorgio is he's a producer of a major television show, so you have to go through layers of people to get to him. And quite frankly, I would just have to
True.
run into him and gonna go, bro.
Yeah.
Call me, dude, and we might have a chance. But like getting through his fucking management and shit,
His
it's like,
people.
I have no patience for that. One person is understandable. One person, if I have to go through layers, it's like whatever. No, it's okay. As showed the new Marvel's movie poster on his show, Disney is bringing in a live-action version of the Aristocrats to save the movie. God help us, says Mr. Peckerwood for $5. Mr. Peckerwood, that's great. Grayson's in the house. Ooh, Grayson's in the house. Berlitz etymologies and flood myth collection in his book are great. Yes, they are. They kind of lend to Hancock's hypothesis of the lost future. Church Jack Z for $10. Charles Berlitz was the starter pack for a lot of us Graham Hancock fans of my generation. Charles Berlitz was great. Bermuda Triangle, great book. Flav for 20 British pounds. Have you seen The Ancient Architects release today? No, I haven't. Some interesting stuff on Karahan Tepe and his link up with Eislinger, putting the statue of Khufu on the Sphinx is awesome. It matches so well. Oh shit, I'll have to watch it. Ancient Architects, great channel, by the way. Great channel. Heading to La Hogue Bay, early Neolithic this week. One of the oldest buildings in the world. This show got me interested in stuff that, again, Thundercat, have fun. Have fun.
That's cool.
Got some great stories from my current house. Master bed has moved 3 feet across the room. Me in it. Been pushed down the stairs off the sofa. Creepy as fuck. Tomby, I would leave.
Wow.
Yeah.
Getting pushed down the stairs, like pushing her on the bed. Haha, we're having fun. Pushing me down the stairs. Fuck you,
That's
bitch. Get the
death.
fuck out of my house.
Right.
First time super chat. Wait. Looking forward to meeting you all in Wisconsin. Constantine for $10. Looking forward to meeting you.
We should have like a special ooh kind of sound when we have first.
Well, yeah. Josh Kelsey drops a 20, walks away, because that's what Josh does.
Thanks,
He does.
Josh.
He's a man of few words. Nate the Great for $5. The CIA agent, the CIA agent discussed a flesh pedestrian disguised as a homeless person has a purple chair now. The chair is facing my apartment. I am half joking. Nate got
Which
into
half?
the psychedelics. Nate got into the shrooms. And
Okay.
hey, I saw a purple gorilla pull a boat across the street like it was broad daylight, like it was fucking real as fuck. Now I
Like
know
the
that didn't
Hanna-Barbera
happen.
show?
Like like a variation of it. It was a gorilla, like a proper gorilla, maybe a little larger. Okay, maybe a lot larger. And it was purple. And it was pulling a boat across the street. But I was tripping balls, like mescaline tripping, like fucking gone. So the sun was setting. I'm sitting in my car. Me and my friends are like debating on driving, which was just the dumbest idea possible. And the sun is setting and it's getting in our eyes. We're facing west. So everything's in silhouette, right? So as you face from my old house in La Costa, you saw a mountain because there was a mountain before the beach. You saw the trees on the mountain. So all the shadows would come down. And there was a boat there, and I saw a fucking gorilla, and I don't know what it was. It might have been a car just turning left, but it manifested into a purple fucking ape pulling the boat across the street. And I'm describing to my friend who's seeing something completely different. I'm like, this is fucking amazing, man. I don't think we should drive.
There's apes about, man.
Smart.
I don't know if I
There's
could
apes
dodge
out
them.
there.
You saw Az
Yes.
before he turned silverback.
I did.
Purple
Wait.
face.
Lloyd Pye talks about the genetic disparity of humans, why we have allergies, and why Lloyd Pye was the guy they were talking to. Low IQ Media. He's the late Lloyd Pye for $10. Why we have allergies and why we have so many genetic defects. Sorry, I'm behind. It's okay. Lloyd Pye, may he rest in peace. I had Ghost Cat hiss at me when I opened my bathroom door a few years back, and yeah, my family never owned a cat before. Albatross for $5. Yeah, fucking cats. It could be a harbinger of some kind. Thanks, guys. Now I'm going to have to put the TV in the freezer tonight, says Rob Cortez for $4.99. Oh, just turn it on static and stare at it for a long period of time. And then say they're here. Saw a ghost on a walk at night in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania last April. A lot of places around there haunted because a lot of fucking people died.
A lot of death.
Alex Jones has tons of scary stories. They just involve the government. Ironworks Gaming, this is true. Thank you for the $5. Celluloid Dream for $4.99. I awoke one night into an immense pressure on my chest as if something was choking me. I looked up and saw a demon. It whispered Diablo 3 is better than Diablo 2.
Wait, I've heard this before.
And that's a demon from hell. And demons lie. Demons lie. Okay? So obviously that proves that Diablo 2 is better than Diablo 3.
Love it.
Get out of here with that shit. Get the fuck out of here with that. Which of you would be brave enough to astral project? If I knew how to do it, I'd do it. Apex Calibrate for
I would try it.
$1.99. Thanks for the
Not me.
super sticker. El Jerko, thanks for the other super sticker. El Jerko, you're not a jerk to us unless you were being a jerk, but I don't care. You can be a jerk. Dad rented by the way, Johan Noxos for $50.
Wow.
Dad rented a building once. Guy who, oh, there, that was nice. Guy who owned was very weird. Never felt right in there. When we moved out, I was in there, middle of summer, no power, and an ice cold breeze went through. All the doors slammed and the lights glowed, and I heard a growl. Fuck that.
Okay.
That's scary.
That's when
You
you run.
obviously survived. Diego Salazar. Sometimes at least 2 or 3 days after someone loved one moves on, the person comes back to say goodbye. Happened to people I know. In my case, it was a dream. Yeah, I had a dream about my dad within 2 or 3 days. I did. I just chalked it up to a dream.
Well, I had
me.
that story when I was, this is something my mom told me, was when I was 3, my grandmother passed away, and we moved into her house, and my dad was sitting in her chair, and I was waving to her, and she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm waving to Big Mama." She's like, "Big Mama passed away." I was like, "No, she's right there." So, I don't know.
Wow.
The stuff
Maybe.
with kids always get me.
Yeah, kids are weird because they're on that, they're closer to the beginning, so they're like closer to that edge.
True.
Yeah, I had a dream talking to my dad, and said he was going to go golfing. That was it. That was the dream.
Probably still golfing.
The great 18
probably still
holes in the
golfing.
sky, yeah.
There you go. That's the way I like to think about it. Agamemnon Fireman for $10. I love Graham, but I do wish he was less whiny about Christians. Just speaking as a fan, being a believer in God and prehistory are not mutually exclusive. I wish I could tell him myself, honestly. Yeah, he's got a big,
Well, he doesn't.
He's the thing
in
about
this-
religion, I think, is what.
he has a thing about the
Yeah.
Christians that like wiped out other religions in the name
Which
of
I
it.
have a problem with, and I'm Christian. I have a problem with the Christians that came down into the South America and burned thousands and thousands of text. Like, I have a problem with that.
The Mayan books, yeah.
Yeah, he's critical of Islam as well, as critical as you can be.
I wish he was less critical on archaeology. Like, I feel like he wastes a lot of time trying to like fight back against them,
Yeah.
and I think he's wasting time. Like, I
Well-
wish he just, he's made it clear so many times. Now, I guess if you don't know and you don't follow him and you like this is your first time listening to him, like it's good to like hey, for the new people, by the way, this is my take on archaeologists out there and how they're like bugging like a tick. You know, I don't know. I get it, but it as someone who likes and listens to him a lot, it just feels like he wastes a lot of time on it.
He wastes a lot of time complaining about it, and Joe told him, and he even acknowledged it in this podcast. It's like, you know what? Don't trip on the comment section. Joe kind of told him if you start creating content, don't let the good comments go to your head. Don't let the bad ones go to your heart. Just don't worry about it. And if it is too much, probably best not to read it. But you know, that's part of the game. You got to be ready for that. He trips out on his comment section too much.
He also admits that he does have an anger issue, and that it feels like that last trip to the Amazon really kind of opened him up a little bit to seeing who he is and like the shit that he should check. And that's awesome. I like
this time he talked about archaeology, but not as angry as he used to. Like I feel like he used to be a lot more angry about it. And he even kind of was like, yeah, I am working with some, and some do seem open to it. And like Joe pushed back on that and said, this is probably just a minority of the archaeological field. Like some seem to be interested in finding out the answers.
Yeah, I don't think
I think
just shutting up about it would probably help. I mean, you don't have to like them, and I think they're full of shit too. I think a lot of them are full of shit, but I think there's a younger crop that's coming up that really is buying into this stuff, and that'll help. But I think there should just be amateur archaeologists. Go out on your fucking own and find stuff because they have no fucking idea. They have no idea. So if you can find yourself some funding and you go to some place that they wouldn't.
Hugh Newman, he just went there and he found stuff. Like he was like, "Oh, there's T-pillars here. Like, look at this." And then they started looking. There.
Yeah, and Luke Caverns is going to places that people are, just aren't bothering to go.
And there's a whole archaeologist team that just reached out wants to fund him going into the Amazon. So like we're gonna see some dope shit coming from Luke Caverns soon. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I can't wait.
Well, it's gonna be crazy, and it's like, well, how long has the Amazon been there? How big has it been? It obviously must grow and contract. And a lot of huge portions of it must have been cleared out. And by the way, a lot of those trees Graham mentions are fruit-bearing trees and stuff because they were planted. It's a garden. Man planted most of the trees. So that natural rainforest that we rely on it's being brought down by man, which is fucking stupid. I mean, just scouring and burning for cattle and farms. I don't agree with that. But it's not our country. Figure it out. But it seems like it might have not been there in that form for I just assumed it had always been there, right? And maybe it wasn't, or maybe it wasn't as big. We don't know. We don't know. Heard Tim Pool called me a sissy, says Bermuda for 10 Canadian pounds. Well, you could tell Tim Pool that anytime he wants to go, I will crush him in Civ 6. He stands in Civilization 6. He stands no chance against my Denmarkian longships. Denmarkian longships? Roll for the initiative.
I got a 13.
That's not bad.
13. Looking forward.
What's your modifier though?
We already read this one.
Yeah.
I don't know why it keeps coming up.
The China commentator is named Peter Zeihan. Oh, yes, Peter Zeihan. That's it. That's the guy.
Guy with the ponytail.
Little ponytail. I don't think he has one. I think he has one now. He looks like an elite leftist. He does, but he actually has some pretty down the middle commentary as long as you don't bring up Trump. And he thinks the Biden administration's more solid than Trump's administration was.
Are you delusional, bro?
And I think he's just fucking, well, because he works for the government. So he knows where his bread's buttered. But when it comes to like, and he's like straight up Ukraine, like Ukraine is winning the war.
Sure.
I don't think so. I think they're fighting in it. I think the Russians might be, I mean, I don't, does anybody have a clue? I don't have a fucking clue. I think the Russians could be playing the long game and not giving a shit.
Clue.
Okay. Well, you're closer. Yeah, it kind of affects you.
I'm very close.
Yeah,
a
you're
lot
like
closer
right there,
than everyone
dude.
else who tries to commentate on it, and it's like I'm
You cringe.
first
Think
off,
yes.
first off, Russia is across the water from me. Like I can't see it because the Baltic Sea is kind of big, but it's right there.
Okay, Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
I can see it from my porch.
She was cute. I mean, in a weird Republican.
She was silly.
Yeah, she was
More
silly.
silly
Yeah,
government people.
she had TDS though. She got TDS.
Did she?
Like everybody else. Yeah.
Followed
Sarah
up on
Palin
it.
did?
Yeah, Sarah Palin.
She a
Oh,
rhino?
didn't
One
know.
of those things.
They're
One
all
of them-
fucking
one of them
rhinos.
things.
They're all fucking rhinos.
They all are.
They all are.
My favorite
okay.
is just the stilt DeSantis.
Dude, what
The
is
stilt-
up with that?
The stiltus.
Yeah, that was weird.
Those
It's
boots
so
are so
funny,
strange,
dude.
dude.
Bill,
You see the
big,
boot just sorry.
Big Candy passed out in my bed. I'm so glad my story made the stream. I have a few more personal stories and several I've heard from family. Not to mention a UFO story. Thanks for all you do and all the suggestions and material to watch and read. Mongoose's clone. Thank you for the 20,
Which one?
20
Which one was
pounds.
yours, Mongoose?
We'll find out. 3 of us were hunting deer for morning on Palomar Mountain. I know Palomar Mountain. We have radios and headsets, and I had a super scary screech squeal come from mine, but my friends didn't hear it. Weird. I've been on Palomar Mountain many times, if that's the one in California you're talking about. Good evening, everyone, and hail chat. It's usually, we spell it H-A-I-L, not H-E-I-L.
Different kind of.
Something to maybe talk about in the future is the SCP. I think you guys would like some of the stories. I'm 1 year older, got giped out of being Halloween baby.
Gypped.
Okay.
I think.
Gypped?
Gypped out of.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that? It's
That-
probably racist now somehow.
Is that how you spell gypped? I
Right.
mean, it might
Gypsy
be.
I
is
don't know.
spelled with a G, right?
No, you are beard tarded. Joe Rogan and Graham are both in season 2. They are under NDAs. Saijong, the Great for $5. I would believe so, but why? Why would it be secret that we're filming a season 2 of a show? That's the kind of thing you want out there.
Who knows?
And it wasn't, don't ask me about, well, I'll have to clarify with that person. Was it, don't ask me about what's going to be in season 2, or don't ask me, because I understood it as don't ask me about season 2 at all. Don't say, like, why couldn't you say there's going to be a season 2? And there's nothing in an NDA that would keep you from saying that. Yeah. Unless they wanted to keep it like low profile so Graham can have access to more stuff. That I understand, because he did
That
get
could
banned
make
from
sense.
Serpent Mound. Yeah.
That's true.
You should have famed ufologist Louis Salso on your show. All right. Celluloid Dream for $1.99. I will happily, I don't know who that, that's not a name I know, but I might recognize the face, but it's not a name I know. I will happily give $100 for an episode with Heckle Fish live as a guest. Adam, take off that week. Love to see more Heckle Fish. If you get to Sheboygan, I will buy y'all drinks at Water Street Pub. Well, we're going to be in Milwaukee. We'll be in Milwaukee.
And I'm not taking off that week.
No. Yeah. Hidden room above the Grand Gallery will prove why the pyramids were built. Why is no one talking about this? Tomb, power plant, unsealed. Yeah, they found
Great point.
They found a void,
Yeah.
but that's all we know is a void. They don't even know, like, they
never
might
What is
not,
in there, man?
they might not
never
ever
know, right?
be able to make it. There's multiple voids in the pyramids, and they can't get to them, and they
in the
can't
center.
blow up the side.
Right.
Well, you just carefully document the placement of the stones, and you take them off of the top.
Because we can't do. You
They
haven't been.
can't
That's
live
true.
there.
That's right.
We got to.
Jimmy has been posting all kinds of videos of
Dude,
construction workers trying to move giant stones and it like destroying their equipment
Yeah,
or
it's
snapping
fucking
them.
hilarious.
It's hilarious.
What did he troll today? Oh God, it was.
I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
see it.
is Devil's Tower a giant tree stump?
Oh, yeah.
Before. It's like
Oh my goodness.
I love that thought. It does look like a tree
it
stump.
does.
But
It's
It
not,
does.
but
I mean,
it does.
Come on.
Do you know anything about Henrietta Lacks. She has immortal cells that reproduce indefinitely. No.
What?
That's
No.
cool.
That would mean she could live forever if her cells reproduce indefinitely, isn't it?
Yeah. I sent X-Ray Girl my astral projection story. Oh, I thought that was going somewhere else. Don't look, acknowledge the things on the other side once you pass through the door. Probably just don't do it at all. Oh, so
yeah, your story
Fair,
creeps
yeah.
me out,
So
Hayden.
just
Oh my
fly
god.
through. Don't go into the light. Don't go through any doors. Just kind of like look. Okay. I knew a guy who could swear he could do it, but I was like, yeah, I don't think I can do it. I don't think everybody can do it. Thank you, Hayden. Love you, man. I was never comfortable with my grandparents' house, the big 1800s Amityville-ish house. Even during the day, a really world feeling hard to explain. Some Norwegian guy for 59 Norwegian krona. You probably, that's a sense not enough people listen to, is the get the fuck out. This is creeping me out. There's a reason for that. Thank you, Ashley, Hayden, for gifting 5 Nerdrotic memberships. Hail. Check out the Safe House in Milwaukee. Don't miss it. Spy theme bar. Ooh, Rottweiler AK for
That's
$20.
cool.
That's my wife will be into that. Last 2 here. My story was a laser tag arena story. Thanks again, Mongoose's clone. There you go.
The first one, the first story.
Yeah, the term cracker comes from Florida Whip Cracker Cowboys. They're the top 10 in Cowboys and was number 3 until recently. Sorry, Adam Boomer, says Barton Bella.
I do have some Streamlabs if you want me to read them.
Read them. We got
Okay.
5 minutes.
We got Odin79 for $3. There are examples of technology being created simultaneously. Aluminum and cars are 2 examples I can think of. Worth debating and wondering, does this mean we are connected on another level? Fun rabbit hole to go down. Who knows?
Excellent.
We have Chris Callie for $10. Same things happened to me when I was a projectionist. Shadows moving, films thrown off the platters, and I was physically pushed. Ooh.
That is something I didn't add in. There's times where the film would just get thrown off. I just chalk that up to just how film works.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sometimes it just gets thrown off the platter. It just happens.
Eric K for $2. Homo Garrett. This is our when we were talking about the homos.
Why are you so gay, Eric?
Why are you so gay?
That's what I want to know.
And then we have the lovely Zorbu for $25. This is awkward, but there's no good way to ask this. But I'd ask Quarter Earthling to please look for my class ring. I seem to have misplaced it somewhere during our last visit. # sentimental value.
I'm not giving it back. It's mine.
He like lifts his hand.
I've already,
and he's like,
I've already
"This
pawned
one?"
it.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness. Bigfoot for $50 says, sorry I'm late, but I had to get a workout in before the show. Knocked out 3 sets of squats and abdominal snowmen. Anyway,
Wow.
my workouts are no
Wow.
small feat.
You're fired.
That's for sure.
Jeez.
You are fired.
Wow, nonstop with that one.
Oh my god. There's a couple more soups if you want to read those, Gary. Or I can if you want.
Hey, all, check out the Secrets in Plain Sight.
It's gone.
Sorry.
Great channel and Ancient Measurements on Ancient Measurements. Full man, thank you for the $5. So it's called Secrets in Plain Sight. That's a good name.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
Don't touch it. Gary was telling his horror story on FNT. Then X-Ray Girl asked for the length. Asked Astro.
Oh my
Andrew
god.
Matthews for five minutes.
That was embarrassingly funny.
How long was it?
How long was it? Something I'd never thought I'd ask you. In
Yeah,
retrospect.
you're not the best with phrasing, actually. I've seen
No.
your streams. It's nonstop.
Thanks, Andrew.
Somebody wasn't kidding that they put out a Marvels poster that's all fucking cats.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Wait, it's a real poster?
Yeah, it's a real poster and it's all cats.
Wow.
Appealing to their audience, I see. Wait,
Oh, no.
I'm glad someone thought that was funny.
Like an official poster?
bad.
You're welcome, madam.
Thank you. Thank you. I was like, wait,
Oh,
wait,
God
are
damn it.
you laughing at my joke? Okay,
No,
you are.
I am.
Good.
I am.
Okay.
This is real.
Can you
I
can you
thought
show
it was a
so I don't have to
joke.
like try to look? don't
I'd
wanna-
have to
I don't
find
wanna-
it. Oh, I have it here. Little platoon. Thank you so much for posting this.
Is this it?
So that's
Yeah,
your
I
Marvel's art here.
Wait, what? This is real?
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke.
This looks like a joke.
It's not a
What?
joke.
This is not a joke.
Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, there's more cats. They promised more cats in the Marvels.
My.
There's only one cat in the first one. Here's friggin'
Is there a thing with
8 of 'em.
cats in the Marvel? Like Miss Marvel? Mr. Marvel? Captain Marvel?
I don't know. The writers
I don't know.
self-inserting their own cats into the stories. That's what it is.
That's what it
There.
is.
I fixed it. I put a how it started, how it's going, and I just put an Iron Man poster. And then
Nice.
I gotta share that.
But if that doesn't just personify him, she, you, I don't know what does.
it really does. I like this is such a joke. I'd be so embarrassed by this. Oh well. All right. We gotta go because oh wait. I had a dream where Rogan was in a large cave near a body of water. It was dark with bluish glow. Someone was speaking an Asian language.
It's weird.
What
It
happened?
was X-Ray Girl.
Did you do ayahuasca with Joe Rogan?
I've never done ayahuasca. I would love to do it with Joe Rogan. That'd be fun, but I don't think that'll ever happen.
I would definitely do ayahuasca with Joe
Yeah.
or Graham. Graham Hank. Can you imagine doing it with Graham? That'd be freaking awesome.
And this is coming from someone who doesn't want to do any drugs like that. I don't want to do any psychedelics. It kind of freaks me out. The idea of it.
It could be for well, yeah. Especially ayahuasca apparently is pretty intense the first time. So
No, Mark would probably be there, Chris. Okay. Doing the ayahuasca as well. He'd be probably for it.
Oh, wait. Well, cool. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
2 days
Yay!
away.
Be
I hope
safe.
you guys enjoyed those stories. I'm sorry we couldn't read all of them. There was way too many. It ended up being like a 2-hour stream.
We'll just save them for later.
2.5.
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll tell
Garrett.
them later.
What do you got coming up? I know what you're doing.
We're working on a video.
Yeah.
It's
It's looking
And,
good. I just
yeah.
checked, and my clips work. I still
Good.
got it, baby.
Good.
I still
Awesome
got it.
So we're working on that. And Tuesday is the Halloween special for Normal World. We've got it's
yeah.
pretty much all sketches, and they're turning out pretty freaking good. So
I'm so
Awesome.
excited.
hopefully you guys can enjoy that. And Halloween night after Normal World, I'm going to be doing a Halloween stream at 12 a.m. I don't know what I'm playing yet though, but it's going to be a spooky game. So look forward to
Have
that.
you played the Mortuary's Assistant yet?
No.
Have you played Outlast?
Play that
Yes,
and
I've played
turn it to 100% scary jump scares.
Oh, and you
Okay,
should
all
have
right,
alerts like
just
I
do it.
have. They're fun with people scaring the crap
Wait,
out of
X-Ray,
you.
have you played that game?
No, but someone asked if
Oh
I
my
did,
God.
and maybe I should.
All right,
I was
both of
gonna
you
play
need to get that
Five Nights
game.
at
Yeah,
Freddy's.
play some good.
No,
Mortuary.
get
totally play
Mortuary's,
that. It's fun.
Mortuary's Assistant and because you could turn up the scariness. Turn it up.
I didn't know there
Turn
was
that shit to
bugs.
11.
Okay, you guys work it out on your own damn time. I got shit to do.
Oh,
I gotta be
sorry.
All right, my bad. Okay. Well, I just recorded a music video. I'm going to be editing that, and I don't know where I'm even going to release it because it's not my song. But I've been in love with filming stuff. I just wish it would stop fucking raining outside. It's been raining basically since I got some new equipment, and now I can't go into the forest with this new stuff. But anyway, my daily show, Monday through Friday on the Crigler Show on both Rumble and YouTube. And then, of course, Side Scrollers on Wednesdays. Yeah, and then Friday Night Jams over my Locals channel. There you go. Check it out.
Cool. I think my wife got mentioned on Tim Pool. In a
Oh,
super
really?
chat. In a super chat, yeah.
Oh,
I think
cool.
it's something to do with San
Ah.
Francisco. Like they should have her on. No, I'll just bring on my channel. My wife's not allowed to talk to anybody unless I say so anyway.
Does she know that?
No.
No, but I like to think about it that way.
I like to think about it that way. X-ray girl.
Funny.
Tomorrow we're back with the Doctor Who streams. So at 3:30 you can watch my reaction on Locals. I'm watching Love and Monsters and Fear Her. So I'm excited for that. And then 6 p.m. on my channel for the review with Zia. And I think Mark and I are going to be playing until dawn after that. So 8 p.m. on my channel. Yeah, lots of good stuff, lots of spooky streams. People like scaring me. I don't like getting scared, but it's kind of fun at the same time.
Cool. Sounds fun.
The
Adam,
more
are you
shares,
doing
the
anything for? Is anybody doing anything for Halloween in Sweden? Do they give a shit?
Dude, they love Sweden.
Do people
or
trick
they
or treat
love
at
Halloween
your
here.
house?
Okay.
I mean, no, because I don't have. I don't think so. No one showed up last year. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere though. I'm like next to a forest. Like I don't really have a lot of neighbors, and the neighbors that do have kids aren't my direct neighbors. Like all the people that are like right near me are all like older folk.
Gotcha.
So, no kids.
Proper. That's so good. Just be around
It's glorious.
Oh, dude. If I retire and I just go to some like place in Palm Springs where it's just all a bunch of fucking ancient people playing golf, I'll be fine.
That sounds
I'm all
fun.
down with that.
I could live there right now.
Yeah, I could.
Honestly,
Wait,
yeah.
Dude, Palm Springs is so rad.
It's a pretty cool place.
Too bad it's in California, but it's a rad place.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really clean, and there's a bunch of old people. The
Have an
driving,
amazing skate park that no one ever skates.
right?
Or
You
at
would have
least
it all to
It
yourself,
was empty.
dude.
I was there for like 3 hours. No one else showed up. It was amazing.
Oh, that's great.
Mhm.
All right. Hey, thanks, everyone. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. You guys are great. Thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. We will see you next Sunday, same time, and have a good night.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
yeah.
Stay forbidden.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.